Live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center in Homestead, Florida. This is the 2021 Superkarts USA Winter Series on the EKN Radio Network. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Homestead, Florida, an AMR Homestead-Miami Motorplex presented by MG Tires. My name's Rob Howden. Welcome to the EKN Trackside Live coverage of the second round of the Superkarts USA Winter Series. Gorgeous day here in Homestead. As I said, temperatures working their way up into the high 60s right now, 67 degrees local temperature rather, and it is just about 1:15 as we get set to go racing. Micro Swift drivers on the racetrack to get things underway. Max Christia starting on the pole alongside Augustus Toniolo, Keelan Harvick and Ethan Tovo on row 2, Gianmatteo Rosso and Alessandro Truchot on row number 3, and we're at it. Green, green, green for the first time in round number 2, the main events. One driver going around in turn number 1, the rest clean and through, and we are racing. Again, welcome to live coverage here, and thank you for tuning in to the EKN Radio Network. 8 main events for you this afternoon here under blue skies with light clouds here in Homestead, and we look forward to some great racing. This will take us to the halfway point of the Superkarts USA Winter Series. 2 weekends, 4 rounds. We're back here for another doubleheader in February. But we've got some work to do here this afternoon as we've got 8 main events for you, beginning with Micro Swift. This category brought to you by D&J Intermodal Services. And the drivers cleanly getting through this opening lap thus far. We'll give you a top 10 rundown when they roll through here. Max Christia on the Parolin was the pole sitter. Christia out to the early lead as well by 0.3 of a second. Yesterday's winner, Keelan Harvick, slotting into P2. Gianmatteo Rosso running in 3rd spot. Augustus Toniolo in 4th. Ethan Tovo 5th. Ashton Woon 6th. Alessandro Truchot down into the 7th spot. Lucas Palacio up into 8th. Benja Fernandez in 9th spot. And Alexander Procuna rounding out the top 10. Keelan Harvick going to make a move to the inside over in turn number 8 early. This racetrack, 0.7 of a mile. We're running it in the clockwise direction this particular weekend. We'll go counterclockwise when we get back here in February. 12 corners, majority of them quick 90-degree corners. Double apex left-hander on the inside of the racetrack and a couple of hairpins that make this track very raceable. It's a physical racetrack for sure, located just outside Homestead-Miami Speedway. Harvick and Gianmatteo Rosso now battling it out up front. Everyone's settling into position now. Keelan Harvick, the leader, as we said, won yesterday. Benja Fernandez was the driver with the fast lap in yesterday's race. We're going to keep an eye on him as well. Fernandez currently in the 8th position. We'll see what kind of draft packs we get to develop early here to try to stretch away. 20 lap the distance. 20 and 22 laps for our categories. 20 for the cadet categories. 22 for the remainder of the classes. 2-driver breakaway now. Keelan Harvick and Max Christia have pulled away. That's a big lead. I think it's probably a full second now over Augustus Toniolo, who leads the next group. I think actually Rosso, that could be Rosso or Tovo potentially now into 3rd. Yeah, Ethan Tovo has now gone to P3. Toniolo in the 4th spot. That next group better line up and work together because at this point here, Harvick and Christia are pulling away, and Harvick's trying to stretch away from Christia now. Keelan Harvick looking to do back-to-back victories here in the Superkarts USA Winter Series opening weekend. Those of you tuning into the EKN Radio Network, KA100 Junior will be up next, followed by KA100 Senior. Then we got the mini Swift drivers. Past the halfway point in the mains, we'll have Pro Shifter and Master Shifter. Then we'll go through the full rundown of the X30 categories, X30 Junior, X30 Master, and we'll wrap up the day with what will be an ultra-competitive and incredibly exciting X30 Senior main event. Again, big thank you to our broadcast partners on board with us here for this particular weekend. with our EKN Trackside Live Tour, the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, Acceleration Kart Racing, and Leading Edge Motorsports are partners for this particular weekend. And as always, great to have Cooper Tires back on board with us for the 2021 season. I think it's the fourth season we've had Cooper Tires with us on the EKN Trackside Live Tour, so great to work with the good folks out of Findlay, Ohio. Harvick trying to stretch away a little bit here. He's got a nice little gap of about 0.3 of a second over Christia. Ethan Tovo, as I said, leads that next group of four drivers. Tovo, Toniolo, Rosso, and Alessandro Truchot. Not that far back is Ashton Woon in the 89. He runs in the 7th spot. Gap back then to Benya Fernandez. And then we've got Lucas Palacio and Alexander Percuna running together. 30 drivers in this Micro Swift category. What a great field. Hayden Wise having a good run, started 28th. Hayden's worked his way up into the 21st position. Probably the biggest mover right now on the racetrack is Hayden Wise, up 7 spots. Indeed, everybody else 1 or 2 positions. Maxwell Macha up 4 from 15th to 11th. So we'll keep an eye a little bit here on Hayden Wise to see whether or not Hayden can continue working forward. One driver coming to a slow stop, coming out of turn number 9, the second hairpin back by the racetrack, the speedway itself. Corner worker heading over there to see if they can assist. It is a 2-driver breakaway now, and I believe Max Christia has been able to go back to P1. Indeed, so Harvick had a gap of about 0.3 of a second built. They better try to work together here right now because Augustus Toniolo has worked to the front of that group. He's got by Tovo, and he's coming. They need to get lined up and get working together out front, or that next group of Toniolo and Tovo and potentially Truchot could reel them in. This is when you need to work together again and try to pull away. Christia is the leader. Harvick runs P2. They're going to try to maintain that gap and stretch it over Toniolo, Tovo, and Truchot. Not a great day for Isaac Malkiet. Remember, he led early yesterday and had a solid little advantage. He hasn't had the speed here a bit today. He's now in the 15th position. We'll keep an eye as well on the 72 of Isaac Malkiet. Got things off to such a good start yesterday. I think he qualified actually potentially on the pole, I think, yesterday, and then was strong in the pre-final, and then was able to lead the main until he had an issue in turn number 8. Hasn't been able to turn it back around. Let's see if he can fight his way forward. In fact, he's up to 14th. Might even be 13th now for Malkiet, pulling away from the drivers behind him. He'll have to get up on the wheel to try to get himself into the top 10 here. Max Christia is still the leader. Yeah, indeed, the front duo now getting smart. Harvick just settling in behind Christia. Doesn't matter what happens in the middle laps, right? It's the last couple laps you got to worry about. They've got to continue lining up because Toniolo, Tovo, and Truchot are together. Now, indeed, we've got to watch them battling each other further back. That doesn't work when you start fighting each other. Again, the chase group of 3 just battle each other in turn number 8. I've said time and time again over the weekend, that is not a place to make a pass if you're trying to chase down a lead group. They were 3rd, 4th, and 5th, lining up and looking like they were reeling in the leader. And I believe it might have been Truchot that tried to make a move on the inside of Tovo, and it's totally broke them apart. Indeed, Tovo's now back to 5th. Truchot up to 4th, but they've already lost Augustus Toniolo, who just went purple by himself, so they had a chance to potentially get onto the podium. Now they're 4th and 5th. I just don't think a pass in turn number 8 is the right thing to do when you're trying to line up to close up to somebody, because indeed, Augustus Toniolo on the Rawlson Performance Group Cosmic is closing. Keelan Harvick's gone back to P1. Harvick back to the lead. Crossed halfway flags were shown to the drivers last time by. It was 10 laps remaining. And keep an eye here on Toniolo. He was 0.3 quicker than the leaders last time by. He's only 0.8 back. So I got to think Toniolo is going to be part of this to make it what will be a 3-driver battle for the race win. Now, Toniolo's coming again. Not much quicker. A little bit quicker than Christia last time, but pretty much the same time as Harvick. But it's it's actually 0.8 of a second separating the top 3. Tovo and Truchot are trying to work together to close up as well. They are definitely getting a little closer. Let's see what happens if Toniolo is able to get to Max Christia, because they may be able to pull away. They're using that draft decently right now. Alessandro Truchot in the 19 leading Tovo back up to the lead group here. There's 5 drivers separated by less than about a second and a half now. This is going to be a fantastic finish. They put on a tremendous show for us yesterday as well. Yeah, Toniolo has arrived on the rear bumper of Max Christia now. Christia in the Magic Cart. Yeah, but don't give up on Truchot. He's still coming. Truchot and Tovo. Harvick out to this lead by himself. About a half a second. But what's going to happen now with Toniolo helping out Christia? Truchot's arrived back on the scene. Just needs a little more, and he'll be right on the rear bumper of Christia, who's going to go to the inside in turn number 2. Book it. Toniolo to P2 as he gets to the inside of Max Christia. Laps ticking away. Harvick, your leader. Toniolo goes to P2. Augustus Toniolo to second. Now he's got to reel him in. 0.7 of a second, the advantage for Harvick, trying to get his second race win in a row. Harvick hitting the marks nicely right now as the lap's winding down. 7 laps remaining. Isaac Malkit picking him back up again. He has worked his way up into the 11th position. He's 3 seconds behind Alexander Procuna, who was quicker by almost a full second. So he's got a chance to get himself into the top 10. Open racetrack right now for Malkit. But a second quicker than the guys in front of him. Harvick now the lead to 0.6 of a second. Yeah, Malkit's closing up now on Palacio and Procuna. That is for 9th and 10th. Last time by, he did a 53 flat, 0.6 quicker than Procuna, just 2.4 back. So I got to think it could be a battle for the 8th position potentially for Malkit if he's able to get the job done. Started 15th position. Tough weekend for him after leading, as I said, early in the race yesterday. Gap up front, 0.6 of a second last time by, as Toniolo, turning his quick lap of 52.993, gets it down to 0.6 of a second. 5 laps to go. 5 laps remaining. Less than a half a second now, the gap between first and second. We're going to have ourselves a battle between Harvick and Toniolo. The key here is when Toniolo gets there, will they race enough to potentially allow Christia, Truchot, and Tovo back into it? They're not that far back. If they start racing early, you may see the other 3 drivers come into the fight. Max Christia trying to get himself on the podium again. He finished second yesterday. Toniolo, head down. Trying to close up on Keelan Harvick, who has been impressive all weekend long. Gap now, 0.463. Harvick just turned his fast lap. Only lost about 300ths, 53.084. Good time for Harvick to go green. Fast driver still Tovo from lap number 12, 52.8, but 53 flat for Keelan Harvick. This is when you need to hit the marks. He's got a driver pressuring him from behind. They've got enough gap, I think, back to Christia that they're not going to have to worry about anybody battling with them. It'll be 3 to go when they get back around. Christia did set his fast lap, 53.249, but that was about 0.2 of a second off that of Harvick. So he lost a bit of ground there. Tovo's been able to get around Truchot, I believe. So move Tovo back to 4th and Truchot to 5th. Toniolo trying to everything he can to get back in the fight. Get close enough to get that draft, to try something. 3 to go. 3 laps remaining. Another gap for Toniolo. Gets it down to 0.4 of a second, 0.407. Another fast lap, personal fast lap for Malkit as well, 53.008. He's on to Procuna and Palacio now. So Malkit trying to work his way up into 8th. Laps winding down for our first of 8 main events today here, round 2 of the SCUSA Winter Series on the EKN Radio Network here from Homestead. Harvick leading, trying to go back-to-back. Gap now still 0.416, another green lap for Harvick. He is getting it done here at the end of the race, 53.024. When he needs to hit the marks, he's doing it. Toniolo looking really good, though, coming through 2 and 3. Toniolo's close. Big lap for Toniolo. He's within 4 kart lengths coming to the inner loop. Turns 5 and 6. Tovo's closed up to Max Christia. That would be the battle for the final position on the podium as well. So Ethan Tovo trying to work his way onto the podium. Malkit last time by into 9th, so he's worked his way to 9th position, trying to get into 8th. That'll be about the best he can do because he's 3.5 seconds behind Ashton Woon. So Malkit, who started back in 16th, trying to get the 8th spot. He's actually in 10th right now. Needs to get to 9th. White flag now flying. Harvick again turns his best lap, but Toniolo even quicker. 0.3 of a second. 53 flat for Harvick, 52.8 for Toniolo. He's right there now coming through turn number 3 and 4. We got ourselves a battle in our hands. Harvick holding the spot, 3 kart lengths into the inner loop. Harvick doing everything he can in the final circuit. All he can do is hit the marks. Runs a wider line through 8. Wise move, does not get past there. He's got 2 kart lengths coming down to turn 9. Harvick holding off Augustus Toniolo, the Nitro Kart and the Cosmic, out of 9. And they'll work their way through the final couple of corners here. Toniolo not quite close enough. It'll be a drag race to the line. Not going to happen. Good run. But here in Homestead, back-to-back jacks for Keelan Harvick as he wins again for Nitro Kart in Micro Swift, the North Carolina driver, winning both races here in the opening weekend of the Superkarts USA Winter Series. Harvick victorious over Toniolo and Truchot. Max Christia dropping down to 5th in the final circuit. Truchot up to 3rd. Tovo 4th. Christia in 5th. 6th is Rousseau. 7th, Benja Fernandez. 8th, Ashton Woon. Up 7 positions to 9th. Isaac Malkit ending up in the 9th spot. And Lucas Palacio finishing in the 10th position. What a fantastic run for Keelan Harvick as Augustus Toniolo threw everything at him, used every lap he possibly could, kept getting closer and closer. But Harvick was putting the laps down. All those green laps, personal best laps throughout the last 5 circuits, just kept getting faster. And then that final circuit, when you're pressured as you are, when you know a driver's getting there, he hit the marks, didn't pinch in turn 8, actually opened the door enough to make sure he got a good run out of the corner, and he was able then to hold all the way through to the checkered flag. So congratulations to Keelan Harvick. Nicely done as he ends up with the victory here today. Harvick, Toniolo, and Truchot, unofficially your podium finishers in the Micro Swift category. Folks, we're back at it. Let's roll. 1 down, 7 to go after this quick break. We're back with KA100 Junior. You're listening to turn-by-turn coverage of the Superkarts USA Winter Series live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at AMR Motorplex, presented by MG Tires in Homestead, Florida. This weekend's broadcast is brought to you by Leading Edge Motorsports, Acceleration Kart Racing, the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, and Cooper Tires. There's a new hot-button name in American safety equipment: Stilo USA. Every product with Stilo is focused on safety, comfort, and function. Stilo USA is happy to provide you with the proper safety apparel to keep you protected on the track, and their karting lineup is second to none. The ST5 KRT karting helmet is available for $599. Manufactured using a lightweight and extremely strong composite material, the KRT provides an excellent fit and comfort level due to its dual-density interior foam lining, and it's equipped with a symmetrical visor that offers excellent vision and an effortless central visor locking system. The ST5 CMR standard was developed jointly by the FIA Institute and Snell Memorial Foundation to ensure safer and lighter weight helmets for the younger karters. Drivers rave about the superior comfort levels, lightweight construction, and the unparalleled field of vision. The perfect youth helmet is available for $549. Stilo didn't stop with their helmets either. The newly developed Carbon Curva Rib Protector is unlike any on the market, with its form-fitting solution to offer superior protection. Head to StiloHelmets.com to review these and many more products to keep you safe on the track. Stilo. Any competition, one helmet. Motor mounts are critical to producing 100% of the power your engine has to get you on the podium each and every time. Odenthal Racing Products provide the best motor mounts in the karting market today. Odenthal Racing Products is a family-owned and operated business with decades of karting experience, providing products with unmatched quality and value for the karting market. Our newest product is the Pro Series mount for 2-cycle engines, available in 0, 5, and 8-degree angles, providing a rigid structure to help keep vibration to a medium with fins underneath to help dissipate heat off the engine. Our 4-cycle EZ set is one of the most popular mounts for the Briggs & Stratton 206 power plant. Multiple mounting holes provide the most adjustability, depending on your chassis and seat placement. To ensure a tight fit to your chassis, ORP wedge clamps get the job done, featuring a number of updates to its design for a lower profile and lighter weight. The clamps are available from 28mm to 32mm in both standard and Euro sizes. Head to OdenthalRacing.com and find a dealer near you. Odenthal Racing Products, made in the USA. Live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center in Homestead, Florida, this is the 2021 Superkarts USA Winter Series on the EKN Radio Network. Non-stop action for you all afternoon here on the EKN Radio Network. KA100 Junior drivers getting the green, and we are underway with Parker DeLong from the pole. Green, green, green. Oh, driver sideways coming through. Big spinner. One driver getting sideways on the exit of turn number 1 and caught another driver out and spun him around. No significant contact, just the one driver ending up sitting sideways on the racetrack, and to see if he can refire. No, that driver getting up out of the cart like there may have been some damage. Otherwise, underway, field getting into position and rolling Parker DeLong with the hole shot to get the lead coming through turn number 1. So, again, underway with what will be a 22-lapper for the KA100 Junior category. PK Sports, the sponsor of the class here for the SCUSA Winter Series. Let's have a look at the initial lineup out of the gate. Inside row got a good start as a pole sitter. Parker DeLong, the leader. Colin Lloyd into second. Luke Welcome, yesterday's winner, into the third spot. Chase Hand, who finished second yesterday, P4. Cole Kleck in fifth. Christian Miles in sixth spot. Sebastian Weldon seventh. Austin Jers eighth. Luis Colomito now in the ninth spot. And G3R Euros now up into the 10th position. Aggressive action early. It's like top 7 essentially in the lead group, but a little bit of running through turn number 8's maybe going to allow, I think, 8 and 9 back in. So that's down to Weldon, Jers, and Colomito, hoping to be able to stick right with these guys as they continue to battle. And it looks like they are going to be able to get into the fight. Colin Lloyd takes a little shot up front. He wants to lead a couple of laps. And, in fact, Luke Welcome coming along with them. Here goes Chase Hand to the inside as well in turn number 2. He slides by Parker DeLong. So DeLong ends up going from first back into the 4th position. Parker DeLong to P4. We are getting at least the lead group dialed in. It's going to be 9 drivers, I think, in the front group here. Then the big gap back to 10th, 11th, and 12th. We'll have a look at that when they come back around. I'll update you on exactly what we're looking at in terms of the top 9. But it is a top 9. That's your lead group here in KA100 Junior. They're actually pretty tight together. Colin Lloyd and Luke Welcome were first and second last time by. As I said, Chase Hand able to get by as well. Side by side, here comes Luke Welcome going back to the P1 position. Indeed he does. Yesterday's winner, Luke Welcome, back to P1 with a move to the inside of Lloyd in turn number 1. So Welcome and Lloyd first and second. Chase Hand in third. DeLong 4th. Weldon 5th. Miles 6th. Cole Kleck in 7th. Austin Jers 8th. And Luis Colomito. Colomito is going to round out the top 9. Then it's 2.3 seconds back to Beckham Yasir, Ethan Goulart, and G3R Euros. Jesus Vasquez Jr., driver to watch as well. Remember, he qualified on the pole and had that issue in the pre-final that put him out of the race. So he's now 13th. I think we should keep an eye on Vasquez in the number 870. We'll look at some lap times. He actually did a 51.227, only a couple tenths of a second off the top drivers. But again, he's fighting with some of the slower guys in the back having to dig through, so we'll keep an eye on the number 870 as well. In fact, already at 12th, and he goes purple. Well, I picked that one out. That feels good. 50.441 purple lap time for Jesus Vasquez Jr. 5.4 back, 2 tenths quicker than the leaders. That's just too far back, right, to be able to close up and potentially get to the race win, but they'd have to be battling like crazy up front. Chase Hand's going to make a move to the inside of Colin Lloyd, so move Chase Hand into second. This is where he ran yesterday as well. But remember, qualified on pole yesterday, Chase Hand did, in the Rollison Performance Group Cosmic, won the pre-final, and then just got literally hung out to dry in the main. Started on the pole, got pinched down in turn 1, just was on the outside of every corner and kept getting streamlined, or freight trained rather. He was able to fight his way all the way back into second position, but just ran out of time to close in on a very consistent Luke Welcome. So this is an opportunity now for Chase Hand to get that victory that eluded him yesterday. He's P2. He's got Colin Lloyd behind him. They got a bit of a gap back to Parker DeLong, who's now in a fight with Sebastian Weldon and Christian Miles. And then another gap back into 7th and 8th, which is Austin Jers and Cole Kleck. So really a good opportunity for these front 3 drivers to pull away. Welcome, Hand, and Lloyd. Jake Walker now turning the fast lap. He fell from 6th all the way back to 16th. 50.123 for him. He's got to keep digging in here. Watching the last lap times for Vasquez as well, 50.146. He's about a half a second quicker than a couple drivers in front of him. So look for Vasquez to work his way now, potentially up closer to the top, maybe 6 or 7. Yeah, there's definitely a possibility. He's quick. Vasquez getting ready to make a move for top 10 right there. Nice dive to the inside of Beckham Yasir. So move Vasquez into the 10th position. And I'm telling you, it's not that far back. They keep battling up front. Could be the opportunity for him to work his way back up. Already into the top 10, though, for Vasquez. Welcome the leader, Hand second. 50.9 the fast time for the leader. 50 flat for Sebastian Weldon. Woo! Talk about dropping a lap down at the right time. Excellent job. Leaders battling, and Sebastian Weldon right in. One driver off to the side. Someone gets shuffled off the outside there. Trying to figure out who that was. That might have been Hand. I think that Chase Hand got shuffled a little bit on the outside of turn number 3. Indeed, he's fallen all the way back to probably 10th position. They are going at it out front here right now. 3 wide to turn number 9. There are 15 laps to go. They are absolutely dicing it out. Remember I said that Vasquez may be in trouble? I don't know. These drivers up front are not battling like it's a 22-lap race. Parker DeLong goes back to P1. Lloyd into second. Yeah, Vasquez just made up 2 full seconds. Jesus Vasquez is right behind Chase Hand. And those two will hook up, and look out. Race strategy thrown out the window. It just seems like everybody's got their gloves up. We're taking lots of moves to the inside of turn number 8, stacking everybody up. Hand and Vasquez going to work together here. They're going to try to see if they can't reel in Colomedio. Yeah, this is not really the way I expected this race to play out based on what I had saw. But, man, they were literally 3 wide going into turn number 9. They're diving on each other in turn number 8. Leaders aren't putting down big lap times. Okay, now it's Parker DeLong and Colin Lloyd trying to check out. Let's see if they're able to sit together. Or does Lloyd try to make a move here? Just seems like that pass in turn number 8 coming out of turn 7 just almost too attractive for these drivers. They just can't stop themselves. And it's another pass further back again. Everybody's got moving forward. And Chase Hand's closing up. Hand has now reached the back of Colomedio. He's topping his helmet. I don't think so. I think Luis would like to have him help him out, but I got a feeling Hand's going to want to go right back by. Remember, this guy was the fastest driver all day yesterday. He's not going to push you forward from 9th and 8th. He's going to try to get by and get himself up into the top 5 and get into the fight. DeLong still leads. Hand gets a big run out of turn 1, indeed. Hand's going to tuck to the inside in turn number 2, so I'll move Chase Hand now to the 8th position. And watch out, because here comes Vasquez as well. Vasquez now will go to work on Colomedio. Jesus Vasquez has been very smart coming through, though. Has not made any mistakes as of yet. I would bet a pass is coming here in turn 7. Crisscrosses to the inside. Book it, as I expected. And it's now Vasquez to P9. Colomedio would do well to hook up with both those drivers because that is his ticket to work forward. DeLong and Lloyd, though, still first and second. Still 12 laps to go. We're literally not even to the halfway point. In fact, right now is the halfway point. These guys were going at it. DeLong, Miles, Lloyd, welcome. Weldon and Jers, right with Cole Kleck as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 drivers within, I want to say 2.5 seconds, 3 seconds max. Interesting the way this one's playing out midway through. Chase Hand and Vasquez now reeling in their next driver. That'll be Cole Kleck in the 882. That would be for 7th position. Pace that Hand and Vasquez are setting, not quite as quick as your leader right now. Yeah, but they're stacking up in front of them. They keep doing this move where they're driving each other in turn number 8. That's allowing everybody else behind them. I want to say that might have been Austin Jers to the inside of Weldon in turn 8 this time. It seems like every lap, somebody in that middle part of the lead pack is making that turn 8 pass, and it's just not getting it done. It's allowing DeLong, Miles, and Lloyd to pull away. And Luke Welcome, let's put it that way. He's there in P4. In fact, make that Welcome into the third spot. Weldon able to, or slots back to fourth. Welcome gets by Sebastian Weldon. Christian Miles in the Race Factory machine, settling in nicely up front. Going to work here on Parker DeLong. DeLong running a little bit of the defensive line. Miles not buying it. Staying out wide. Luke Welcome closing back up. He's yesterday's winner, and he looks to try to continue it here. DeLong, the lead, 0.4 of a second. Luke Welcome just turned his fast lap with a 50.177. Eight laps remaining in KA100 Junior. Hand battling it out. He and Vasquez now fighting for the 5th position. They've been able to get by Cole Kleck. Now they're going to work on Austin Jers. Top 4 drivers have stretched away, though. Big gap for DeLong, Miles, Welcome, and Weldon. Over a second back to P5. Let's see what happens when they start racing. Still Cole Kleck in 5th. Austin Jers 6th. Chase Hand 7th. Vasquez 8th, Beckham Yasir 9th, and Colin Lloyd, who was up front at a while, is now back to 10th. How quickly things change. Top 4 stretching away. The gap 2 seconds now. Back to Cole Kleck. Austin Jers still holding on. There goes Hand to the inside of Jers over in turn number 8. He'll take the spot. So move Chase Hand now up into 6th. Vasquez goes to the inside of Jers as well. So Vasquez to 7th, Jers back to 8th. Chase Hand now putting the target on the back of Cole Kleck. Time's going to run out, though. 7 laps to go. Here goes a move for the lead. Christian Miles to the inside. Book it. The Race Factory goes P1. Christian Miles. They're all stacking up. They're thinking about going to the inside of 2. Literally nose to tail the entire top 4. Miles, DeLong, Welcome, and Weldon. Man, I love KA100 racing. This is good stuff. They've got a good gap. Watch for Hand to try to make the move here in turn 5. Not close enough to get by Kleck. Cole doesn't have the pace to catch up to the leaders. He's off by at least 0.3 of a second. Hand's got to go by. Vasquez has got to go by if they want to catch these leaders. Kleck doing a good job to hold off yesterday's pole sitter, though. No doubt about that. Cole Kleck having a good run all around. Texan driver for Arcane Motorsports in the Tony Kart really has shown well. Hand getting a big run. Thinks about the inside of turn 2. Here comes Hand to the inside, side by side. He'll take it. Hand now goes to P5. Kleck's going to watch out for Vasquez. He'll set up for the inside of turn number 5. Not quite there. Watch for Vasquez to make the move, potentially over in turn number 8. Vasquez gets a good run. No, not close enough at all. Has a bit of trouble coming out of 6, I think. Hand now P5. Kleck, just lock up with him and see if you can go forward. We'll look at lap times. 5 to go. It'll be 4 to go when they come back around. Christian Miles was the leader last time they came by the stripe. Now we flip-flop them around. This time it's DeLong and Welcome back first and second. And Welcome goes back to P1. Yesterday's winner, Luke Welcome, back to the front. Miles goes back to P4. That's how different things change in one lap. Chase Hand is back by 1.5 seconds, 2.2 in total. Open racetrack, and they're racing. There's another move to the inside. These leaders keep going back and forth. DeLong retakes the lead. I'll tell you, Hand, Kleck and Vasquez could be in this before it's all said and done. They do another pass over in turn number 9. They are not lining up, and here comes the challengers. Look at Hand rolling. P5. 3/10 quicker than the leader last time by. They just keep passing. 3 to go. Again a move to the inside in turn 1. Hand is close. Oh, Chase Hand is closed right up. Look at this, and here comes Kleck. Here comes Vasquez. Make it 7 drivers in the lead group. Miles going to try to get back by Welcome again. He looks to the inside. They're side by side. Hand is right there. That 4-driver battle with a 3-second lead is gone. They have all rolled the dice, and here comes 3 more drivers to fight. Hand looking to the inside of Luke Welcome now. 2 drivers pulling away up front, DeLong and Weldon. This is good stuff. Sebastian Weldon, 4th last year in the points in the Mini Swift category. Looking good here in KA100 Junior. He is the new leader. Sebastian Weldon has gotten to P1. DeLong runs in 2nd. Everybody running block moves now. Luke Welcome trying to hold off Hand. Top 3 drivers are pulling away just a little bit. Hand's going to go to the inside of Welcome in turn number 9. Welcome's going to get a better run. There's crisscross. He's lost. Welcome lost 3 spots. Hand has now gone to P3. Is it P3 or P4? White flag flying this time by for Sebastian Weldon. Hand has gone to 4th spot. It's still Miles in 3rd. Sebastian Weldon worked his way forward. Fast lap of the race on lap number 7. That was a long time ago. That's history. Now he's got to try to hold back Parker DeLong in the final circuit. Weldon to DeLong, 1st and 2nd. DeLong right there. Out of turn number 7 to 8. This will be the inside move. Weldon's going to try to run the inside. He does. DeLong gets a great run out of the corner as well. Weldon's going to stay to the bottom all the way. Big wide move for Parker DeLong trying the over-under. Can't quite pinch it. Side by side coming out of turn number 9. They'll work their way down to 10. Weldon still leads. DeLong trying to find a way by through 10, 11. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Who's going to win in KA100 Junior as they come to the line? Sebastian Weldon. Weldon victorious in KA100 Junior. Parker DeLong 2nd. Christian Miles 3rd. Chase Hand in 4th. Cole Kleck 5th. Jesus Vasquez Jr. from 20th up to 6th. Jake Walker in 7th. Beckham Yasir 8th. Austin Jers in 9th. And Colin Lloyd in 10th. Yasir started 19th. He gets to 8th. Almost as strong as Vasquez. But Sebastian Weldon holding off a determined Parker DeLong. Wild final lap. Excellent drive by DeLong. Closed up nicely at the end. But Weldon able to hold him off to get his first SCUSA KA100 Junior victory. That was a race for sure. Weldon, DeLong, and Christian Miles, your unofficial podium in the category. Man, that was good racing all the way through. Those front runners needed just to settle down to the last 3 or 4 laps. But again, they didn't. They battled it out like every lap was the last lap of the Supernats. And that allowed more drivers to come into the fight. They were lucky that Chase Hand didn't have a couple more minutes because he may have been able to get up into the fight as well. Otherwise, congratulations, Sebastian Weldon, winning in KA100 Junior. You're listening to turn-by-turn coverage of the Superkarts USA Winter Series live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at AMR Motorplex, presented by MG Tires in Homestead, Florida. This weekend's broadcast is brought to you by Leading Edge Motorsports, Acceleration Kart Racing, the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, and Cooper Tires. Every winter, young drivers take the leap up to the next class. Whether it's micro to mini, mini to junior, or the big jump from junior into the senior ranks, it's tougher competition. If your son or daughter are moving up a class in 2020, give them exactly what they need to be ready. Professional coaching from the most respected teacher in the sport. With over 30 years of karting experience, Alan Rudolph and his staff at the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy specialize in training young racers and accelerating their skills so that they're ready for the next challenge. Don't just invest in equipment, invest in your driver. Bring them to the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy at Speed Sports Racing Park in Houston and invest in their skill development. Get them ready to take on that next on-track challenge, better prepared than ever. Get ready for 2020 by calling the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy at 866-607-7223. Head to speedsportsracingpark.com to learn more. Looking for that extra edge? Comet Racing Engines is your answer. The engine service program from Comet Kart Sales has been winning from coast to coast at all levels and different forms of the sport. Lead engine builders Mark Harrison and Gary Lawson have decades of karting experience, providing racers the power to reach the top step of the podium. Comet Racing Engines continually perform track and dyno tests to provide their customers with the cutting edge in engine performance. Comet specializes in Yamaha KT100, IAME Swift, IAME X30, IAME Leopard, and Rock engines. Trackside and customer support are the cornerstones of the Comet Racing Engines business, ensuring each and every customer receives personal attention and the help they need to achieve the best results. Engine rentals are available at all the events that Comet attends in 2018, including WKA, SCUSA, USPKS, and the Route 66 Sprint Series. Contact the Comet team today at cometkartsales.com or by calling 317-462-3413. If you're looking to step up your engine program, send it to Comet Racing Engines. Live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center in Homestead, Florida, this is the 2021 Superkarts USA Winter Series on the EKN Radio Network. Drivers getting set to go now in KA100 Senior. Hannah Greenmeyer will be on the pole position. Arias Duke Medjing in second. Aiden Levy in third spot. Field set, spooling up. And a good start for Greenmeyer. No, she almost got sideways coming through. Wow. Greenmeyer up inside on the curb in turn one, and the car got real loose on her. She was able to hold on to it and keep it going forward, stacked everybody up behind a little bit. Dukmedjian quickly into the lead over in turn number 4 with a move to the inside, so move Dukmedjian to P1. Greenmeyer slots into second. I believe that's Aiden Levy into the third spot. We'll see as they settle out here through the opening corner. One driver having some struggles, and it looks like two drivers together over in the far back part of the racetrack. Contact over in turn number 2 on the opening lap. Definitely not the wise idea, knowing how long this race is, a 22-lapper. Throwing that one away, essentially. We'll have a look here. 28 drivers in total in the group. We'll find out which drivers have fallen to the tail of the field for you. As they come across the line, here's your top 10. Dukmedjian, Greenmeyer, Levy, Lemke, and Riley Can, top 5. Nick Ramirez in 6th. Nolan Allison 7th. Tyler Ferris 8th. Connor Ferris 9th. And Thomas Annunziata rounding out the top 10. 4 drivers have not yet got back around. Unsure which to start, but Andres Ardiles, Alex Dancho, Charlie Murphy, and Pedro Ferreira not running. So at least 2 of those drivers done in the back part of the racetrack. Always tough to see a start like that. You never need to make that bad mistake on an opening circuit, especially in turn number 2. There's a lot of open racetrack here at Homestead. But we are racing. Those that were able to get through turn 1 are back at it. Five-driver breakaway out front. Dukmedjian, Greenmeyer, Levy, Lemke, and Can. Then it's about a second and a half back to Nick Ramirez, who's teamed up with Tyler Ferris and Thomas Annunziata. So they're ready to rock here. Oh, deep in the field, further back. I want to say, what's that? 12, 13, 14, 15. I got to pick that up because that's crazy. That is Jankowski, Stegman, Searle, Alexander Searle, and Wes Duchek. Man, they they were throwing it in to turn number 8. Literally throwing it in there. Wow. Why not? Alexander Searle, Wes Duchek, James Stegman, looks like potentially Greg Campos in there, and Jankowski, as I had said. 5 of them going at it for 13th. Actually, 12th back to 16th. Ramirez, Annunziata, and Ferris going at it. Leaders using the chaos behind them to kind of work their way forward here now. Duke Medjian and Greenmeyer with almost a full second now on Lemke as they try to pull away. Brandon Lemke, remember this, the top 3 drivers on the racetrack were the top 3 yesterday as well, with Lemke able to get by Greenmeyer on the final circuit in turn number 8, that big move down to the bottom. And then Duke Medjian was able to do the over-under as well on Greenmeyer to drop her down to P3. We'll watch to see what happens with pace. We're a long way to go still. We just got into this thing. 4 laps. We'll see what the karts do in terms of developing their setups, working their way through here. Duke Medjian and Greenmeyer still that bit of a gap over Brandon Lemke. Just getting started in what is now our third of 8 main events. Yeah, Lemke, very similar lap times. Lost a 10th that time. He's got O'Reilly Can behind him. Can actually just went purple with a 49.810. Riley Can in the crosslink competition spree. Really strong here in the early going. Riley wasn't able to get to the end of the race yesterday, having a much better run of it here. Good lap for Duke Medjian, his best at 49.978, but Lemke, who has teamed up with Can, inching ever closer behind the front-running quartet. 5th, 6th, 7th. Aiden Levy in the 990, Thomas Annunziata in the 999, and Nick Ramirez in the 931. Annunziata, I think, is going to be one to watch coming forward. Annunziata leading Ramirez as they try to chase down Aiden Levy. KA100 Senior fielding 24 karts on the racetrack right now. 26 in total, I believe, as 2 drivers out early. Maybe even 3, so we might have had 27. Greg Campos started back in the 23rd spot. He has worked his way up to 15th position. He's the biggest mover. Annunziata, other than Campos, the next hard charger, 5 spots up. Started outside the top 10 in 11th. He's worked his way to 6th now. I just think that Annunziata is going to keep rolling forward. He's not that far back. 3.6 seconds behind the leaders. They haven't started fighting yet. Lemke still about 9/10 back. Maybe a little bit less now. Yeah, how about this lap? How about Lemke does his personal best lap, knocks it down to 5/10, half a second for Lemke. 49.739, 3/10 quicker. It was 8/10. Now it's a half a second. Lemke moving. That kart's starting to come in. The Merlin looking good. Levy now has Annunziata right behind him. This is what I'm talking about. Here comes Thomas Annunziata. One of the drivers that really impressed me last year in the Winter Series. He'll look to the inside at turn 8. Book it. Annunziata by. Levy could challenge, but you better watch out because Nick Ramirez there too. Ramirez right behind now Aiden Levy. So Annunziata goes to P5. Pretty big gap back. At least 2.5 seconds, I would bet. Now, let's have a look when they come around. Greenmeyer now into the lead. Hanna's gone to the P1. Dugmedji in second. Lemke within a half a second now as again he does a 49.737, his best lap. Riley Can sits in fourth. Annunziata 2.7 seconds back. We'll look at lap times, though. He's got to find some good speed here now. This is his opportunity to potentially close in, especially if the leaders start battling each other. Top 4 separated by less than a second. Hannah Greenmeyer finds herself in the same place that she was yesterday, and that is leading here midway through the KA100 Senior main event. She led a majority of the race as well. I think took the lead around lap 5. She took the lead and then lost on the final circuit when Lemke was able to pull the trigger in 8. Obviously thinks right now she's fast enough to stay in front because Lemke's going to come up here and challenge with Dugmedjian. This is very similar to what we saw yesterday. I thought Dugmedjian was potentially going to battle with Lemke. Here goes Dugmedjian back to the inside, and Lemke's right there. So Greenmeyer goes to P2. Lemke back to the lead, Dugmedjian back to the lead. I like Riley Can's chances, too. He's just kind of sitting here watching, getting a good feel for what's going on. He set the fast lap a couple laps ago. Lemke just did it. He went purple with a 49.515. So Lemke now with the fast lap. Top 4 drivers coming across the line, separated by just under 0.6 of a second. And Annunziata's coming again. Like I said, he's 3 seconds back of Can. A little quicker than Greenmeyer that last lap. He's just not quite enough. Annunziata's been able to clear himself of Aiden Levy, but I just don't think he's got the outright pace. Top 4 veteran drivers. Not looking to throw anything away here. Being smart. Dugmedjian, Greenmeyer, Lemke, and Can. Kart Republic. What do we got for chassis? We've got a Kart Republic, Cosmic, Merlin, and Esprit. And states, we've got Florida for Dugmedjian, Colorado for Greenmeyer, Wisconsin for Lemke, and Texas for Can. Nice mixture. Different teams as well. Dugmedjian with Zanella Racing, Greenmeyer, Rollison Performance Group, Lemke with Franklin Motorsports and Team FMS, and Riley Can with Crosslink Competition. And they're definitely pulling away from Thomas Annunziata, even though he just turned his fast lap of 49.688. He was quicker than the leaders last time by. 2.7 seconds is the gap. 8 laps still remaining. Annunziata's got the speed to run with the leaders. He just had to start so far back. 11th. Eighth to go here now. Dukmedjian, last time by a 49.888. They're getting some pretty good lap times still later in this race. 6 laps to go. Dukmedjian, Greenmeyer, Lemke, and Can. Annunziata all by himself now in the 5th position. 6th, 7th, and 8th are Ramirez, Levy, and Tyler Ferris. Big gap back then to Nolan Allison, Connor Ferris, and Gia Cicero. Then the big gap back to Alex Jankowski. Greenmeyer looks comfortable right now in that 2nd position. All right, this one's coming down to the last 5 laps. What are we going to get here right now? Because just got a little shake-up up front as Riley Can made a move to get by Brendan Lemke. So move Can now to P3. He realizes P4 is not going to work for him. He goes to 3rd. Lost a bit of ground there. He's got to pick up some speed. He knows he's got the pace. That's given Dukmedjian and Greenmeyer a little bit of room here now. Can not quite getting the job done in a place where he was able to keep the speed. Now he's got to get up and see if he can't reel it in. Riley Can in the crosslink competition, number 944, trying to take a bid for the race win here. He needed to get by Lemke because he knew he was not in the challenge position. He's been able to pull away a little bit here. About 0.7 of a second back. Can's got into P3. He's got a decent little advantage over Lemke. Riley Can put it together here and reel in the leaders. You know they're going to battle here sooner or later. Can just got to get close enough so that he can be part of that fight. Because right now there's enough of a gap behind Greenmeyer that she's not going to have to worry about Can sliding by. That'll give her a lot more options in terms of how to get by. You can make that dive bomb move into 8 not knowing that you're not going to potentially lose a spot behind you. Three laps to go when they come across the stripe here. What's Riley Can got for speed? He's quicker than Dukmedjian, 0.8 back. Not quite as quick as Greenmeyer, but he was able to pick up a 1/10 on Dukmedjian. 0.8 back. He's got to get as much as he can. Even a 1/10 a lap gets him within a half a second, and when they start battling, that'll work. And Riley Can's got some room on Lemke as well. Brandon Lemke's fallen back to P4. He was about 0.4 off a Can there. Riley up on the wheel. He needs a couple of really good laps to make it a good 3-driver battle up front. Otherwise, Hannah Greenmeyer is going to be able to throw it at the current number 1 in the EKN driver rankings. Dukmedjian, we'll see the 2 to go. I love it when it's the calm before the storm like this. You know it's coming. When is she going to pull the trigger? In fact, they've got enough of a gap right now that it's 8.875. They've been able to pull away from Riley Can. Riley potentially looks like he's going to hold on to a podium finish P3. Good run for Riley Can. But this thing's going to come down to these 2 drivers battling. He's close enough still. If something were to happen, he could capitalize. But Dukmedjian even pulling a bit more. Dukmedjian with a little, probably 2 to 3 kart lengths as they came out of turn number 6 over to 7. Greenmeyer wasn't close enough to pull the same move on Dukmedjian that Lemke pulled on her yesterday. She's got to get closer. White flag going to fly. This is it. 1 to go here in KA100 Senior. Who's going to bring it home? Does Greenmeyer get close enough? She rolls a lot of speed through turn number 1, gets out on the rumbles on the exit. She's thinking about turn 2. No, closes right back in. Riley Can not close enough to do anything. Out of turn number 3 to 4. Dukmedjian not running any kind of defensive line over the first half of the lap. Can surveying the situation. Greenmeyer not close enough coming through turn number 7 to get into turn inside. She'll try to get a good run coming out here. Dukmedjian strong out of turn 8. I don't know that Greenmeyer's got anything for him. Into turn number 9. The final hairpin. It's the run down to turn number 10. She tries to get close enough. Dukmedjian's looking good. I don't think she's got anything for Arias Dukmedjian right now. They'll work their way out of the final corner of the racetrack. Coming to the start-finish line, KA100 Senior belongs to Arias Dukmedjian in the Kart Republic, winning by just over a tenth of a second from Hannah Greenmeyer. Riley Kahn onto the podium. Yesterday's winner, Brandon Lemke, down to P4, so that opens things up championship-wise. Couple of podiums for both Dukmedjian and Greenmeyer. This is going to be tight on top. Brandon Lemke, P4. Thomas Annunziata by himself in 5th. Nick Ramirez ends up 6th. Tyler Ferris in 7th. Aiden Levy in 8th. Nolan Allison in 9th. And Gia Cicero rounds out the top 10 as she finishes up 3 spots from her 13th position starting spot. Arias Dukmedjian, wow, that was impressive. And really what that was putting great laps down over the last 4 or 5, pulling away just enough of a gap that Greenmeyer was not able to be close enough. She just wasn't there coming out of 6 over to 7 to make that dive bomb move to the apex of turn number 8. And then again, wasn't able to set up for the pass down in turn number 9. Arias doing a fantastic job. He's the number 1 on EKN for a reason, folks. One of the best tag drivers, obviously, in the country. And on a win for Kart Republic as well, Dukmedjian, Greenmeyer, and Kahn, your unofficial podium in KA100 Senior. 3 down, 5 to go. Mini Swift up next. You're listening to turn-by-turn coverage of the Superkarts USA Winter Series live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at AMR Motorplex, presented by MG Tires in Homestead, Florida. This weekend's broadcast is brought to you by Leading Edge Motorsports, Acceleration Kart Racing, the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, and Cooper Tires. Every winter, young drivers take the leap up to the next class. Whether it's micro to mini, mini to junior, or the big jump from junior into the senior ranks, it's tougher competition. If your son or daughter are moving up a class in 2020, give them exactly what they need to be ready. Professional coaching from the most respected teacher in the sport. With over 30 years of karting experience, Alan Rudolph and his staff at the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy specialize in training young racers and accelerating their skills so that they're ready for the next challenge. Don't just invest in equipment, invest in your driver. Bring them to the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy at Speed Sports Racing Park in Houston and invest in their skill development. Get them ready to take on that next on-track challenge, better prepared than ever. Get ready for 2020 by calling the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy at 866-607-7223. Head to speedsportsracingpark.com to learn more. There's a new hot button name in American safety equipment, Stilo USA. Every product with Stilo is focused on safety, comfort, and function. Stilo USA is happy to provide you with the proper safety apparel to keep you protected on the track, and their karting lineup is second to none. The ST5 KRT karting helmet is available for $599. Manufactured using a lightweight and extremely strong composite material, the KRT provides an excellent fit and comfort level due to its dual-density interior foam lining, and it's equipped with a symmetrical visor that offers excellent vision and an effortless central visor locking system. The ST5 CMR standard was developed jointly by the FIA Institute and Snell Memorial Foundation to ensure safer and lighter weight helmets for the younger karters. Drivers rave about the superior comfort levels, lightweight construction, and the unparalleled field of vision. The perfect youth helmet is available for $549. Stilo didn't stop with their helmets either. The newly developed Carbon Curva Rib Protector is unlike any on the market, with its form-fitting solution to offer superior protection. Head to StiloHelmets.com to review these and many more products to keep you safe on the track. Stilo. Any competition, one helmet. If you're ready to take your racing to the next level, come join us at Team FMS. Franklin Motorsports is a leader in the karting industry with over 50 years of combined karting experience, and we can provide you with everything you need to go racing. With a large online product selection, select track support events, and a wide variety of shop services, Franklin Motorsports is your complete karting source. We've been supplying racers with start-to-finish support at race events for many years, from providing a helping hand on a weekday test outing or at a club event, to full arrive and drive packages at the highest level of karting competition. Our championship-winning Merlin chassis have won at all levels and in all age groups. The Merlin Cadet 950 is the perfect fit for our mini and micro drivers. The Merlin MR29 is the championship pedigree for our junior pilots, and the Merlin LM30 provides our senior and masters drivers with the potential to reach the top step of any podium. Be part of Merlin Nation today. For the 2020 season, Team FMS will be attending the Superkarts USA Winter Series, Superkarts USA Pro Tour, the United States Pro Kart Series, and the Route 66 Sprint Series. For all things karting, visit franklinkart.com. Live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center in Homestead, Florida, this is the 2021 Superkarts USA Winter Series on the EKN Radio Network. As we go through the order, Mini Swift will be up next. Nitro Kart, the sponsor of the category. The drivers have rolled out on the track for their warm-up lap, and will go green this time by. They come in through turn number 10 and 11 now. Mateus Orjuela, yesterday's winner, starting on the pole position alongside Enzo Vidmontien. Row 2 will see Sebastian Garzón on the inside and Christian Chiano on the outside. Row 3 will have Oliver Weldon alongside Jensen Burnett. Row 4 will see Indy Reagan on the inside and Eva Hansen on the outside. And Diego Ardiles and Carson Walters occupying row number 5. Field working their way into the staging lanes now as they come out of turn number 12. And we set to go green flag racing. It'll be outside line with a big run. That's not going to go over well. Looked to me like potentially Orjuela was holding off a little bit on the inside. Outside spooled up. Outside with a head start coming through turn number 1. And I'll tell you, race director Bo Barfield was standing right there. No one's going to tell you what happened. He'll look at the video, but he was standing right there. He could see what was going on. And Bo, of course, a veteran of race direction, IndyCar, Champ Car, IMSA. He's seen it all. So, and he was a racer himself as well. So I guarantee you there'll be something happening there. That was a big jump from the outside. Actually, I shouldn't guarantee anything. That's not my job. I'll stop saying that. That'll be up to what they want to do if they thought that potentially the pole sitter held back or whatever it may be. Regardless of what happens, we are racing. And it was the outside front row starter, Enzo Vidmontien. Enzo Vidmontien, driver in that position now. Jensen Burnett was able to work his way up into the second spot. Eva Hansen in third. Fourth, Carson Walters. And fifth was Mateus Orjuela, who, of course, from the outside slotting back. So the outside row getting the best jump there. Give you lap number 2 when they roll back around here again. Vidmontien still with that lead. Jensen Burnett second. Hansen, Orjuela now up into the 4th spot. As we are settling back in here once again. Pro Shifter, Master Shifter will be up next. Vidmontien leading the way with a 52.8 last time by. He's got the open racetrack out in front of him. Jensen Burnett sliding into second. Hansen third. But again, Mateus Orjuela did not get the good start coming up to the line. Again, hard for me to see them when they work their way, of course, up the front straightaway with all the crew members leaning over the fence. Leader does have to hold maintain a constant pace, I believe. I'm going to look at the rule book to get the exact ruling on it before we get to the next event, so I'm more up to speed on it. But you got to, I believe, hold a certain speed before punching off. You can't spool up and then kind of lay off and then get back at it. So we'll see how this all plays out. As I said, the race director, Bo Barfield, was standing right there at start-finish outside of the scoring container here. Have a look at some of the bigger movers from the back. 23 drivers in total taking the green, at least finishing the opening lap. Christian Chiano did not finish the opening circuit. Vivek Kanthan started in the 16th spot. In fact, started back at 27th, I think, in the pre-final. In the pre-final, worked up into 16th, and is now, I believe, in the 12th spot. Let's see what he's got here. Yeah, he's currently P12, so a 4-position improvement for Kanthan. Salvador Della Vecchia, remember, he was the first driver out of the pre-final, started dead last in the 25th position. He's already up into 17th, so we'll keep an eye on Della Vecchio as well. Salvador Della Vecchio in the 146, trying to recover from that issue that he had, first driver out of the pre-final. Everybody turning their best laps here on lap number 4. Fast lap right now for Orjuela in the 52.2 region. 52.220 for Mateus. Perron driver looking to follow in the footsteps of Keelan Harvick, who went back-to-back with race wins. 2 different winners in KA100 Junior and KA100 Senior as well. Luke Welcome scoring the win yesterday in KA100 Junior. Sebastian Welding getting the victory today. It was Brandon Lemke in Senior on Saturday, race 1, and Arias Dugmedjian in race 2. Orjuela slotting into that 3rd spot. 3-driver breakaway now with Vidmontian and Burnett out front. A decent gap back to Sebastian Garzon now, who runs in the 4th spot. Oliver Weldon in 5th. Ava Hansen now 6th. Carson Walters 7th. Asher Osteen 8th. Carson Weinberg in 9th. And Kai Johnson rounding out the top 10. Della Vecchia now up into the 15th spot. He's 9.7 seconds behind the leaders. Not going to catch that lead trio at all. But we'll keep looking at lap times to see how far up the order he could get. Potentially into the top 10 for Della Vecchia. That's kind of where he's been running throughout the weekend. Della Vecchia was 6th yesterday, but there was a lot of action there in terms of and some penalties, I believe, as well. But Della Vecchia, P6. So a top 10, I think, would be a good run for him getting himself back forward here, especially with the amount of gap and having to start so far back. Yeah, I think a top 10 is a possibility for Della Vecchia. Kind of surveying where the gaps are right now on the racetrack and where he potentially could sit within the race group he's in. It'll be fun to watch, the number 146. Burnett now goes to the lead. Jensen Burnett in the 115 to P1. Della Vecchia now to 13th position. 7/10 quicker than Luis Amana in front of him, so he's going to continue to work his way up here. Mini Swift, our 4th class in the lineup. 5 more races still to come for you. Pro Shifter and Master Shifter up next. Then we'll go into X30 Junior, X30 Master, and X30 Senior. So 4 races still to go. This will be the 5th one involved. 8 races in total. 3 already in the books. Got a couple of good battles, one-on-one battles expected in the shifter car categories, both the classes. We saw the race wins yesterday as Brent Cruz battled it out with Alan Isambard, and then, of course, Scott Skitchy Barnes dialing it out with Freddie Emrev for the Masters crown. So we'll see how things go in that race. That'll be up next. And then again, the full run through the X30 Junior and Senior and Masters groups to be able to cap off the day's action. Gorgeous day here in Homestead. For those of you not able to be with us, it is absolutely perfect here right now. They were saying a high of 70. We haven't got there yet. I'm seeing 68 on the phone. To be honest, I haven't been outside my booth in a while. I've been kind of locked in here. We had a half an hour for lunch, knocked that out, got caught up with a couple things here on the laptop, and right back at it. So Mateus Orjuela has now finally worked his way to the front, as we've likely expected. He is now the P1 driver. Orjuela to the front. Jensen Burnett in second. Enzo Vidmontien runs third. Garzon fourth. Weldon fifth. Weldon quite a ways back in P5. He's got Ava Hansen right behind him. So Oliver Weldon and Ava Hansen run fifth and sixth. Another second and a half back to Asher Osteen. From there, it's pretty much open. Della Vecchia just turned his fast lap. We've been kind of watching him throughout the first half of this race, as we're really just coming to the halfway point now. Cross halfway flags indeed being shown at start-finish. Della Vecchia did a 52.546 last time by, 0.3 quicker than Kai Johnson. That would be his next conquest. He's right there with Kai Johnson now. And I think actually might have made the pass going into turn number 1. So that would be for 11th, I believe, for Della Vecchia. He's got 9th and 10th still in front of him. Diego Ardiles and Carson Weinberg. Yeah, so Della Vecchia having a good run. Most would say that it kind of sucks to be able to go back like that and have to start at the tail of the field, but I've always said that it's a really good learning experience for a young driver to start at the tail of the field and actually have to pass some cars working forward, not just the fight within the group that you're racing in, but actually really work your way from the back and pick your passes and be decisive when you get there. I think it's always a great experience. So Della Vecchia not be happy having to start back in 25th, but I think he's put on a great show so far. We're only halfway through, and Della Vecchia now up into 11th. Mateus Orjuela in the Paralympic trying to pull away from Jensen Burnett, but easier said than done because Burnett's had great speed throughout the entire weekend. Running for AKT Racing on the Energy chassis. Started 6th. Part of the outside row that was able to get a good jump, and he worked his way up forward. I think he would have got there anyways because Burnett's been one of the drivers, as I said. He's had some issues. He's come from deep in the field and has each time shown extremely well. Della Vecchia now about a second behind Carson Weinberg, but wasn't quite as quick that last lap. Weinberg put in a good 52.5. Crucial for him to be able to potentially stay out front. Weinberg actually trying to find a way by Diego Ardiles as well. In fact, he's going to look to the inside at turn number 9 right now. Book it. He's through. Good pass there for Carson Weinberg. He'll go to P9. Good opportunity to potentially safeguard a top 10 finish because I think Della Vecchia will likely be able to reel in Diego Ardiles before this is all done. Again, we'll look at lap times. 52.5 for Weinberg, 52.8 for Ardiles, 52.4 for Della Vecchia. Indeed, Della Vecchia closing right up now. Trying to get to Ardiles. About 0.4 of a second, the gap up front as Orjuela slowly chipping away on that gap to get away from Jensen Burnett. About 1/10 of a second a lap. And Vidmontien, these are the 3 drivers that were on the podium yesterday. Burnett moving from 3rd to 1st, and Vidmontien from 2nd to 3rd. Of course, all unofficial based on review of the start. Good fight here as well, I think, between Ava Hansen and Oliver Weldon. Ava's trying to find a way by, and I think they got to watch out a little bit here for Asher Osteen in 7th. Not that far back. Yeah, Osteen within 0.8 of a second, was quicker by a couple of tenths as Weldon and Hansen working together there, but still scrapping out just a little bit. Della Vecchia is now right with Carson Weinberg. So it's Ardiles in 9th, Weinberg 10th, and Della Vecchia in 11th, and they're essentially nose to tail. Coming into turn number 4 and through 5 and 6 now. Della Vecchia not in a position to get past it. He's currently P11. Stephen Miller having a good run as well. We talked about Della Vecchia coming up 14 spots, but Stephen Miller started in the 21st position, and he has worked his way to 13th now as well. So a good advancement for Stephen Miller. Miller out of Florida here on the Energy. Four laps to go in the Mini Swift category. Not a ton of excitement in this one, of course, coming off that wild one we saw in the KA100, both senior and junior class, really kind of firing things up. The first 3 races were pretty exciting. This one kind of settling in here as Orjuela's pulled out to a 3.3 second advantage now. One of the best battles, Oliver Weldon and Ava Hansen. She has been right there with Oliver throughout this entire race. That's 4th and 5th. Thought they may have potentially been able to get chased down by Asher Osteen. That's not happening. Something happened to Indy Reagan. He fell out of the top 10. He was there as well, but Indy has now dropped down into the 13th spot. That has moved Ardiles to 8th, Weinberg to 9th, and Della Vecchia now up into the top 10. Ardiles has been able to pull away a little bit here from Weinberg, and Della Vecchia has not been able to pull the trigger to try to find a way by. Even though he's on the bumper of Weinberg, just has not been able to find a way by. He's right with him. He'll look to the inside now in turn number 9, and there's the pass there for 9th, but over-under. Let's see if Carson can get it back. He can't. So, yeah, move Della Vecchia now to 9th and Weinberg back to 10th. Ava Hansen not done here yet with Oliver Weldon. She took the spot for a second, but Oliver took it back. So Weldon goes back to P4, Hansen and 5th. White flag going to be displayed to Mateus Orjuela as he looks to follow the footsteps of Keelan Harvick and go 2 wins on the weekend. Big advantage for him over Enzo Vidmontien. Yeah, what happened to Burnett? That's another driver who's fallen down the order. I didn't see that happen. Let me scroll down. Jensen Burnett out on lap 15. I missed that. Oh, what a weekend for Burnett. Showed so much speed, and he's out. So Vidmontien 2nd, Garzone up and now to 3rd, Weldon 4th, and Hansen 5th. I was kind of wondering why those guys were 4th and 5th, but that's because Burnett's out. Indy Reagan fell down out of the top 10 as well. Tough one for Jensen Burnett. Showed such great speed throughout the weekend. Checker flag, though, getting ready to be pulled because Mateus Orjuela getting it done. Back-to-back jacks for the Parolin driver. A couple of victories. Orjuela with the win. Enzo Vidmontien is going to cruise in here for 2nd spot unofficially. Sebastian Garzone in 3rd. Oliver Weldon 4th. Ava Hansen 5th. Asher Osteen in 6th spot. Carson Walters in 7th. Diego Ardiles in 8th, Salvador De La Vecchia in 9th, and Carson Weinberg rounding out the top 10. Bit of a crazy start there in this category, and we'll see whether that affects the results at all, but nonetheless didn't stop Mateus Orjuela from working his way to the front. A 4.8-second victory for the number 169. Orjuela taking a point lead at the end of 2 rounds here on the Superkarts USA Winter Series. We'll look forward to seeing what he can do and what the remainder of his competition could potentially do to make it a little tougher to win this title when we get back here in February. 4 races down, 4 to go. Next up here on the EKN Radio Network, live from Homestead, Pro Shifter and Master Shifter. You're listening to turn-by-turn coverage of the Superkarts USA Winter Series live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at AMR Motorplex, presented by MG Tires in Homestead, Florida. This weekend's broadcast is brought to you by Leading Edge Motorsports, Acceleration Kart Racing, the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, and Cooper Tires. Leading Edge Motorsports is the industry answer to winning in karting. At the helm is industry veteran Greg Bell, who has orchestrated the success of many drivers dating back to the mid-1990s. Most recently, Leading Edge Motorsports and Greg Bell helped guide Danny Formel to victory at both the Rock the Rio and the Superkarts USA Super Nationals 23. Based in Lodi, California, Leading Edge Motorsports is the Western importer for IP karting, which includes the Praga and Formula K chassis brands. Leading Edge Motorsports is already looking forward to the 2021 season, which begins with the Challenge of the Americas, the premier winter series on the West Coast under the Rock Cup USA banner. Leading Edge Motorsports is also eyeing the Florida Winter Tour and several other programs. Arrive and drive services to kart preparation and driver coaching are all available under the LEM tent throughout 2021. Greg Bell has been building racing engines for over 20 years, and he's excited with the continuing growth of his new Mega Power race motor building program. It doesn't matter what color your chassis is, choose Mega Power to get to the front. For more information, click over to leadingedgemotorsports.com and find them on Facebook. At Leading Edge Motorsports, winning never gets old. Motor mounts are critical to producing 100% of the power your engine has to get you on the podium each and every time. Odenthal Racing Products provide the best motor mounts in the karting market today. Odenthal Racing Products is a family-owned and operated business with decades of karting experience, providing products with unmatched quality and value for the karting market. Our newest product is the Pro Series mount for 2-cycle engines, available in 0, 5, and 8-degree angles, providing a rigid structure to help keep vibration to a medium with fins underneath to help dissipate heat off the engine. Our 4-cycle EZ set is one of the most popular mounts for the Briggs & Stratton 206 power plant. Multiple mounting holes provide the most adjustability depending on your chassis and seat placement. To ensure a tight fit to your chassis, ORP wedge clamps get the job done, featuring a number of updates to its design for a lower profile and lighter weight. The clamps are available from 28mm to 32mm in both standard and Euro sizes. Head to OdenthalRacing.com and find a dealer near you. Odenthal Racing Products, made in the USA. Live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center in Homestead, Florida, this is the 2021 Superkarts USA Winter Series on the EKN Radio Network. It's time to go shifter racing here on Sunday at Homestead for the SCUSA Winter Series. Alan Isambard starting on the pole in Pro Shifter in the parallel alongside Brent Cruz in the Formula K for Leading Edge Motorsports. Harden Motorsports Group, Devin Smith Harden will start on the inside of row number 2 alongside David Greco. It's a CKR for Smith Harden, Greco on the Burrell Art. Then it'll be Baylor Griffin on the Magic Card alongside Pierce Baldus in the Formula K, and we're underway. Green, green, green! Scott Barnes and Freddie Emrev, the front row starters for the Masters category. We're underway. Barnes got the whole shot on Emrev there. And I believe Cruz with the hole shot as well here on Isambard. First time we've seen that. Great jump there for Cruz. Getting the hang of the shifter and launches off the line nicely. Cruz goes to the lead. Isambard second. Greco third. Smith Harden fourth. Griffin fifth. Baldus, I believe, into the sixth spot. And I think that Scott Barnes able to get the jump on Andy Rule. So Barnes in the Masters category jumping up into seventh overall. That'll be good for Barnes to potentially able to stretch away a little bit here from Freddie Emrev. 22-lap main event for Pro Shifter and Master Shifter. Good sharp start for Ken Schilling as well as he's able to get away from Brian Smith and Amir Sanada. Sanada going inside of Smith over in turn number 2. So that'll be for P4. But a good jump for Schilling as he's trying to stay here with Emrev. Barnes got a good rabbit in front of him there in Pierce Baldus. He's got Annie Rule behind. Annie, of course, the Pro Shifter category is a little bit lighter than the senior class, and she's able to slip by into turn number 9. So, again, that's the rabbit that he'll be able to use trying to stay with Annie Rule. Cruz and Barnes, the winners from yesterday. And Isambard putting a ton of pressure now on Brent Cruz. Early laps. Tires just starting to come up to temp. Cruz, of course, very new to the shifter scene. Isambard, one of the drivers that we saw here in the Winter Series last year. Local driver on the Parallel, knows this racetrack. But so does Cruz, just not with a 6-speed shifter to the right of him. This time Cruz with the fast lap. Trying to stretch away a little bit here. Looks like it's going to be a race-long battle between Scott Barnes and Freddie Emrev. It's because Emrev is right there with him. Barnes would like to see if he could get at least one of the pro shifters in between them, but tough to do. They're going to be running nose to tail here. Ken Schilling comfortably into that third spot as well in this Master Shifter class as Amir Sanada and Brian Smith locked and loaded. Those drivers together again, and it looks like they'll fight for the rest of this race. Cruz trying to stretch away a little bit if he can from Alan Isambard on the Parallel. Into the second half of our main events. 3 to go after this. We'll have all X30 from here on in. X30 Junior drivers will be up next. Their second main event of the weekend. Shifter drivers actually staying pretty close together all the way back to Pierce Baldus, only about 2.5 seconds from front to back. Baldus putting a lot of pressure right now on Baylor Griffin. Yeah, Baldus all over the rear of Griffin here, coming through 10 and 11. Another purple lap for Cruz, 46.333. So we got a couple of good battles kind of settling in here right now. Cruz versus Isambard. Greco has a little bit of a gap on Smith Harden right now, but both drivers very consistent. They both did 46 sixes, and then 46 nines for Griffin and Baldus. Both those drivers running together. Oh, there's a move by Baldus going to the inside. He's able to get Griffin, but not quite. They're side by side now down to turn 2. Griffin able to take the spot back, but no, Baldus back on the inside. Yeah, they're going at it here through turn 3 and 4. Oh, another move to the inside. Oh, contact! Baldus into the inside of Griffin. That's going to allow Annie Rule to slide through. And that's it for Baldus. He's got a broken tie rod in the right front, I believe. That was an ambitious move by Pierce Baldus to the inside of turn number 4. I think he was quite in there. They were having a good fight. He had made a good move to the inside of turn number 1 to take the spot away from Griffin. He fought back and got it in turn 2. And then I think Pierce wanted it. He wanted to get it done and really tried to force the issue over in turn number 4. The fight for the lead really heating up now as well, and that's bringing Greco potentially back in. And Devin Smith-Harden's having a good run here as well. Cruz's fast lap of 46.284. He dropped it down to a 46.9, 7/10 slower than the last lap. And that's brought Isambard back up to fight with him. Sketchy Barnes still holding back Freddie Hemrev for the race win in the Masters shifter category. Clocking out the laps here. We still got a lot of racing to go. 14 laps still, and Isambard is not giving up at all, trying to find a way by and to stay with Brent Cruz. And the same goes for third. Devin Smith-Harden putting a lot of pressure on David Greco here. That's for P3. Yeah, here comes Smith-Harden. Devin Smith-Harden putting the pressure now on Greco. Had a look to the inside of turn number 8 the last time by. And they're not even that far behind the leaders. It's only 2.2 behind now. Baylor Griffin just at his fast lap, a 46.829 as he and Andy Rule still dicing it out. Andy holding on to 5th. Baylor Griffin now 6th after the contact over in turn number 5 with Pierce Baldus. Freddie Hemrev has been able to get by Sketchy Barnes, so Hemrev is by. Barnes needed to try to hold him back as Hemrev over the course of the weekend is shown to be a bit quicker. Talking to Sketchy Barnes last night, you talk about people wanting new karts, whatever it may be. I think Sketchy's on a 6-year-old Intrepid. Looking to potentially jump on something a little newer for the next race here. I think he's going to rent a kart from Hardin Motorsports Group, but that's a 6-year-old Intrepid that he has been barnstorming around the country with. He's run it at the Super Nationals, Rock Island. Every time he's come over, he's rocked this thing big time. Isambard back to the inside on Cruz. Can't quite get by yet. Let's get back to the lead battle. We'll talk more about Barnes and that old chassis he's running. But Isambard putting all the pressure on Cruz to the inside, coming through 3 and 4 side by side. This is going to bring Greco back into it. Brent Cruz struggling a little bit here right now under the pressure. Greco's coming, so is Smith-Harden. I don't know what the issue is here right now for Cruz, but Isambard putting all the pressure on him. But here comes Greco, making a 4-driver battle up front with 11 laps still to go. We're just past the halfway point. 10 to go when they come across the line. Something slowing up Cruz a little bit. Isambard's got to get aggressive to make that pass. Almost had it done in turn number 2. All over Cruz now, coming through 3 and 4. Trying to set him up. And Greco and Smith-Harden have taken advantage of as well. It's top 4 drivers all together. Cruz running the inside line in turn number 8 to make sure no one makes that move on him. Big wide berth into turn number 8. Isambard gets a better run but has to tap into the back of him. One of the things this weekend to remind ourselves of, the shifter karts running the pushback bumper now in the shifter kart program as well. Here comes Isambard looking into turn number 1. Isambard with a great run. He'll go to the inside to turn number 2, to the inside, but over, under. And Greco's going to help him through. Greco goes to P2. Isambard back to 3rd. Isambard, hold on here right now. Smith Harden's going to try to get by. Can't quite do it. So move. Isambard back to P3 as he tried to make the move to get to the inside of Cruz. It was an over-under for Cruz in turn number 2, and Greco helped him through. If Greco had not been there, I don't know that Cruz would have been able to finish that over-under, as Isambard made a pretty good pass down into turn 2. But Greco now on the PSL Karting Burrell Arc goes P2. He's into 2nd. Cruz trying to see if he can't pull away a little bit here right now. Isambard now going to work on Greco. He'll get back down the inside, and indeed, Isambard back to P2. Now he's got to reel in Cruz again over the next 8 laps. Devin Smith Harden on the CKR is right there as well. Isambard will look at lap times when they get back around. He's got to make all that ground up that Cruz had. They put so much pressure on Cruz. Looks like he was left and right and left. Doesn't quite sure where he was at one point, grabbing gears and trying to get the thing back rotated. They were really putting the pressure on. Quick update further back, Amir Sonata and Brian Smith still battling it out for 4th and 5th. These guys have been locked all weekend long, and Smith putting all the pressure on his CKR as well, trying to get by the magic of Sonata. So it's a 1-second lead now for Cruz. Let's see what Isambard has this next time by. Skitchy Barnes is out. Looking at live timing, Barnes is out. Not sure what happened to Scott Barnes, but that is going to be tough for him trying to win this championship, to be out of this race. Again, P5, not a lot of drivers in the category, so 5th is what he'll end up with. But that's going to move Schilling into 2nd, and this battle between Amir Sonata and Brian Smith is now going to be for the final position on the podium. Not sure what happened to Scott Barnes, out on lap number 11. Again, trying to look around the racetrack. I don't see Barnes anywhere, but it was 4 laps ago, so he probably has been into the scales and bailed already. Gap now less than a second as Isambard trying to close up with 6 to go. He was about a 10th quicker last time by. He needs to be quicker than that, but come across the line. This time, again, about a 10th quicker, down to 0.8 of a second. Isambard trying to close back up for one last-ditch effort to potentially get past. Same goes for Brian Smith. He's trying to find a way by Amir Sonata. What a good battle that is. They've been racing for this entire event. 17 laps. These drivers have been nose to tail. Sonata and Smith in the Master Shifter class. Same goes right now as well for Baylor Griffin and Andy Rule. Baylor able to get by. Andy holding on. That's the spot for, I believe, 5th and 6th. Both drivers, I think, on the Magic chassis. Gap now still 0.8 of a second. Cross the line once again. How about 0.6 of a second? Isambard almost 0.3 quicker. He has closed up to within 0.6 of a second. We're going to get a battle potentially here for the race win with 4 to go. Cruz is going to have Isambard and that Parolin trying to find a way by one more time. Isambard had the pass done in turn number 2, but an over-under for Cruz a couple of laps ago was aided by Greco, pushed him back through over to turn number 3, and that pushed Isambard all the way back into 3rd spot. He had to then get back by Greco and then had a full second advantage that he had to eat up. It'll be 3 to go this time by. 0.6 of a second was the gap last time, 0.636. Now it's 0.438. He's closed up again. Another 0.2 of a second. 3 to go. Alan Isambard trying to close up on the young phenom Brent Cruz. This is going to be a wild finish for sure. Got to hit the marks. You can see how close Isambard's getting. He can feel it. They've got a slower car. Brent Smith out front. He's going to pull off to the side. I don't think that affected him at all. He's letting those guys go by. Smith was in that battle with AMR Sonata for third in class. Not wanting to get in the way. Still 0.4 of a second. Isambard might have lost a little bit there. 2 to go. He's got to dig in here. He's down to about 5 or 6 kart lengths. Needs a magic lap here. They were both 46.6. Isambard trying to do everything here in the final 2 circuits to see if he can get close. He is. He's definitely closer. But enough that Crew's still able to run the big wide lines. They're closing up on AMR Sonata as well. Hopefully that's not going to play any kind of a role here. Aaron Likens is going to give him a little look at the blue. White flag flying. This is it. Isambard closes now to within 0.3 of a second. He's closed. I don't think Sonata's going to play a role. He's far enough up front. Look at this. Isambard's on top of him. They'll work their way through to the infield. Sonata's going to potentially get out of the way. He's got to keep rolling because they're coming. No, he's going to stop right in the middle of the corner. Oh, that was it right there. He got in the way of what could have been a pass because he pushed Cruz to the left side of the racetrack. That's disappointing. Not the place to slow up when you're trying to get out of the way of the leaders. Here they come out of the final corner. Not sure if it would have affected it or not, but nonetheless, Brent Cruz has taken the win. Alan Isambard in second. David Greco third. Devin Smith-Harden in fourth. Baylor Griffin fifth. Andy Rule sixth. That's your pro category. And we're waiting for Freddie Hemrev to come home here to get the victory in the Masters category. Hemrev with the win. Scott Barnes out early, as we said, ends up P5. Ken Schilling in second. Wait for Ken to come around here, P2. In fact, he'll be second for sure because Sonata's a lap down. He won't come back around. So Ken Schilling ending up in second and AMR Sonata in third. Cruz got some help there from David Greco getting back around, but he gets the victory. Alan Isambard in second, David Greco in third. That's your unofficial podium. And we'll have Hemrev, Schilling, and Sonata in Masters Shifter. 3 more races still to go. Next up here on the EKN Radio Network, X30 Junior. You're listening to turn-by-turn coverage of the Superkarts USA Winter Series live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at AMR Motorplex, presented by MG Tires in Homestead, Florida. This weekend's broadcast is brought to you by Leading Edge Motorsports, Acceleration Kart Racing, the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, and Cooper Tires. Acceleration Kart Racing is your first and only stop on the internet for karts, parts, and safety gear to get you on the track. Shop AKRA.com offers a great selection of karting equipment on a user-friendly website. Acceleration Kart Racing has aligned itself with many of the top manufacturers and distributors in the sport to ensure that all the latest equipment is available to you, the consumer. With customer support available 6 days a week, you can be confident about getting the right parts at the right price. Be sure to visit shopakr.com today or stop by their headquarters in Las Vegas. Also, follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest specials, clearance items, and new products. If you're ready to take your racing to the next level, come join us at Team FMS. Franklin Motorsports is a leader in the karting industry with over 50 years of combined karting experience, and we can provide you with everything you need to go racing. With a large online product selection, select track support events, and a wide variety of shop services, Franklin Motorsports is your complete karting source. We've been supplying racers with start-to-finish support at race events for many years, from providing a helping hand on a weekday test outing or at a club event, to full arrive and drive packages at the highest level of karting competition. Our championship-winning Merlin chassis have won at all levels and in all age groups. The Merlin Cadet 950 is the perfect fit for our mini and micro drivers. The Merlin MR29 is the championship pedigree for our junior pilots, and the Merlin LM30 provides our senior and masters drivers with the potential to reach the top step of any podium. Be part of Merlin Nation today. For the 2020 season, Team FMS will be attending the Superkarts USA Winter Series, Superkarts USA Pro Tour, the United States Pro Kart Series, and the Route 66 Sprint Series. For all things karting, visit franklinkart.com. Live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center in Homestead, Florida, this is the 2021 Superkarts USA Winter Series on the EKN Radio Network. So our shifter kart drivers wrapping up their weekend. Now it's time to go X30 Junior, X30 Master, X30 Senior. Huge field of drivers getting set to go. Let's have a look at them here. Jeremy Fletcher starting on the pole in the 722. Alongside Paul Bocuse in the 771. Row 2 will have Noah Baker alongside Leonardo Hassan. On row 3, it'll be Kai Sorensen, yesterday's winner, and Jack Jeffers. Row 4, Aiden Ingrata, driver who finished on track as the winner yesterday. Starting 7th alongside Parker DeLong. Field set, spooling up. Green, green, green. Good run through the opening corner for everyone. Back into turn number 2 again. This is when you got to watch your braking mark. Get through cleanly. Take care of that front bumper. And get into 2, get into 3, and the first time into the inner loop to the left-handers. Tires on the left side still a little bit chilly. Getting back up on it right now. Good start here for the number 722 of Fletcher. He will lead over the 771 of Bocuse as they come through turn number 8 for the first time. And no, stacking them up for the first time. First time we've had this all weekend long. A parking lot in turn number 8. A couple of drivers got looped around. I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 drivers involved in this one. We'll try to give you the rundown of who they are when they come back around here. Fletcher with the lead, Bocuse in second, Baker third, Hassan fourth, Sorensen fifth, Jeffers sixth, Ingrata seventh, DeLong eighth, Garcia ninth, and Berg 10th. And waiting to see the drivers that fall to the tail of the field. 24 have come across. There's Harmon and Kolar. Haven't seen Weinberg yet. There's DaCosta. I'm thinking likely Weinberg, Salim Hanna, Rowan Gill, and Jake Walker. Those drivers involved in that one. Fletcher, your leader, though, as we're underway for what will be a 22-lap main event. Early 3-driver breakaway, if you will, maybe a half a second over the next group. Fletcher, Bocuse, and Noah Baker, 1, 2, 3. Then it's back to Kai Sorensen and Leonardo Hassan. Another gap back to 4 drivers, which would include Jack Jeffers, Aiden Ingrata, Max Garcia, and Parker DeLong. Alex Berg finds himself alone in 10th, but with room both in front and behind him. Kai Sorensen dialing things up, just went purple with a 48.517, and that would be perfectly understandable considering the fact that he has closed right back up. It's a 5-driver lead group now. Sorensen getting that draft right back up into the lead group, top 5. Will they work together? That is the question right now, because behind them in the 6th spot, Aiden Ingrata, I believe, it's Aiden Ingrata by himself there in the 755. Again, Ingrata, one of the drivers, strong yesterday, actually scored the on-track win. Remember, we had that red flag early on in the incident. We did the single-file restart. He was able to get the lead, but I believe potentially in that situation, he had passed a driver and got a penalty for passing under the yellow. So that victory was taken away. Bocuse with an aggressive move down to the inside of turn number 1. Fletcher back to second. Bocuse, your new leader, but they'll go right back by in turn number 2. So remember that question I had about whether or not they were going to work together? Answer, no, they're not. And here comes everybody back into the fight. Oh, it was a 5-driver lead group, but no, Ingrata's now into it. Everybody's into it, in fact. Top 9 drivers all locked in here. Fletcher, Bocuse, Sorensen, Baker, Hassan, Ingrata, Garcia, DeLong, and Jeffers. And not long, if they keep doing this, we'll be adding Alexander Berg to the list. He's got only 7/10 on Gladys behind him as well. Yeah, Berg and Gladys are going to be in this fight here momentarily as well. Now that big group's kind of obviously splintering off as it always does. Lead drivers out of turn number 2 and 3. Over to 4 and to 5 and 6, the inner loop of this racetrack. Fletcher being very relaxed out front. Sorensen has worked his way to P2. Again, Kai Sorensen with the win yesterday. Slotting up into P2 so early in this race. 6 down, 16 still to go. Lots of racing still to get done. A little bit of a gap here for Fletcher, probably about 4 or 5 kart lengths. Then second, third, fourth, and fifth are lined right up. Sorensen, Baker, Bocuse, and Ingrata. Then it's the gap back to Max Garcia in 6th position. He's got another about a second and a half back to Leonardo Hassan. Starting to get drivers getting a bit anxious up front there. Indeed, I wasn't surprised to see that at all. Noah Baker kind of roughs up the inside of Sorensen. Sorensen's going to get roughed up even further for the Ingrata. He'll go by. So Sorensen was in second. Baker went by. Bocuse followed him through. Then Ingrata made a move to the inside of turn number 8 to move Sorensen now back into the 5th spot. Baker, I think, just getting a little anxious seeing Fletcher pull away to about a 4/10 of a second advantage. Top 11 drivers within 5 seconds, then about 2 seconds back to Michael Costello, who now runs in the second spot. Costello finished 3rd yesterday after all the penalties were rolled out. Sorensen, Garcia, and Costello were the top 3. That was your podium in the X30 Junior category on Saturday, round 1 of the Winter Series. Again, if you're just tuning into the EKN Radio Network, my name's Rob Howden. We are live here from AMR Homestead-Miami Motorplex, presented by MG Tires, the karting facility just outside of Homestead-Miami Speedway here in South Florida. Round number 2 of a 4-round Superkarts USA Winter Series, the off-season, the preseason, if you will, program lining up for the National Superkarts USA Pro Tour, which will take place this year in New Orleans, Utah, and Indiana. Of course, the Winter Nationals getting things underway on the, I believe, the first weekend of March at NOLA Motorsports Park in New Orleans, Louisiana. Then we'll head to Utah, to the Utah Motorsports Campus in Tooele. And then wrapping things up, as we have for the last number of years, at Newcastle Motorsports Park with the 12th running of the Summer Nationals, where we'll crown our champions. Jeremy Fletcher has done a tremendous job thus far. He has led every lap across the stripe and is at the halfway point now. Paul Bocuse just got purple with a 48.7, so Fletcher looks like he's going to have a challenger here now as Bocuse turning things up. Field starting to spread out a little bit up front here. .48.988 for Fletcher. Last time by, but a 10th off of Bocuse. But they've been able to pull a bit of a gap here over Noah Baker now, who runs in P3. Sorensen back into 4th, and Grata now 5th. 6th is Max Garcia on the Will Power Kart. 7th is DeLong on the Tony. 8th, Jeffers. 9th, Gladys. And 10th is Hassan. Long races, these 22 lappers. Drivers have to be good all the way through, and the setup, of course, has to be crucial. The front two drivers have stretched away. This looks like it's going to become a two-driver battle, but a full second advantage for Fletcher and Bocuse up front. As it stands so far, Paul Bocuse has been very steady, showing the patience you need. Baker and Sorensen going out. I think Sorensen now into 3rd. Baker goes back to P4. And Grata watching from 5th. Big gap back then to Garcia in 6th. But again, this is shaping up to be a two-driver battle for X30 Junior. Paul Bocuse taking his turn up front. And I think you kind of do the same, right? You roll the dice to see whether or not you can pull away. You can sit there to the very end and wait to make that pass, or if you think you're quick enough, maybe you take that one shot at it. There's still 6 laps to go. Throw it out there, go to the lead, and see if you can maybe pull away. Bocuse running P1. Fletcher responds with his best lap of 48.707. It was purple for a time, but that now belongs to Parker DeLong back in 7th as he's trying to close up to Max Garcia for P6. But Bocuse now has gone to the lead. The Speed Concepts driver running up front. Jeremy Fletcher on the running with Bennick on the EOS. X30 Master to line up after this, and then we'll wrap up the day with X30 Senior. Going to be real close to rolling right on time. X30 Master set to go at 3:30. It's 3:23 local time here right now, so we're looking good. Bocuse still leading, coming through 6 and 7, now to 8. Let's see what Fletcher's got for him here. They've got lots of room, so that's one of the good things for Fletcher. He does not have to worry about the challenge from behind. Sorensen, Baker, and Ingrata running in 3rd, 4th, and 5th are significantly back over a second at this point. They're both, of course, all trying to get up on the wheel to see if they can get closer. They gained about 1/10 of a second last time by. 3 to go. Yeah, Sorensen trying to wheel up here. Still 1.2 seconds, though. They're not gaining at all on the lead duo, so don't expect anything changing up front. This is going to give Fletcher an opportunity to plan his attack. Bocuse, of course, made his move to go to the lead to see if he could pull away. Has not been able to get that done yet, so now he's got to think about his defense over the final couple of circuits. They'll see the 2 to go sign when they get back around here. Two laps remaining. Sorensen trying to get up on the wheel. He was a little bit quicker than the leaders, but maybe a couple of hundredths of a second. Nothing that would do anything. Ingrata, though, is going to make a move by Noah Baker down into turn number 2. Indeed, Aiden Ingrata by to P4. So Ingrata now up into the 4th spot. He gets by Baker. 6 is Garcia. Just turned his fast lap. He's got a second on Parker DeLong. DeLong's got Jack Jeffers and Medeiros Gladys right behind him. Apologies for absolutely destroying that name all weekend long. Leonardo Hassan there in 10th as well. 5 seconds back then to 11th. Top 10 drivers all within about 5 seconds up front. White flag flying. This is it for Paul Bocuse. Can he grab a Winter Series victory? Bocuse was able to win at the Summer Nats. He's got the lead coming into the infield here. Jeremy Fletcher looking to line him up. Turn 8, the big opportunity. He'll roll to the outside. Yeah, not close enough. Fletcher's going to try to get the over-under to get the run down the straightaway. Bocuse still with a length. Here comes the run from Fletcher. Shallow entry into the corner for Bocuse to hold the spot. Fletcher's close. He looks to the inside of turn number 10. Fletcher to the inside. He's got the spot. Fletcher to the lead. Fletcher takes over the lead in turn number 10. Onto the front straightaway. What a pass. And Fletcher with the win. Fletcher made the move to the inside of turn number 10. Tossed it in there. And Jeremy Fletcher with the victory. Well done. Fletcher wins with a great pass in turn 10. Bocuse to the outside. Fletcher to the inside. Own the entry, own the apex, own the exit. Great job for Jeremy Fletcher with the win. Bocuse comes in second. Sorensen holding back Aiden Ingrata for the position on the podium. Sorensen P3, Ingrata fourth. Baker 5th, Garcia in 6th spot, DeLong 7th, Jack Jeffers 8th, Message Gladys in 9th, and Leonardo Hassan rounding out the top 10. Big move for Jorge Ortiz from 27th up into 11th. Good for him. Lucas Sabo up 7 spots. Cole Kleck up 9. Sebastian Weldon from 34th to 21st. A 13 position improvement for Weldon. But Jeremy Fletcher up front getting the job done. Started on the pole, was able to get the victory. Paul Bocuse second. Kai Sorensen, your unofficial podium in our X30 Junior category. 2 more classes to go. Masters and Senior in X30 to wrap up the weekend here in Homestead. You're listening to turn-by-turn coverage of the Superkarts USA Winter Series live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at AMR Motorplex, presented by MG Tires in Homestead, Florida. This weekend's broadcast is brought to you by Leading Edge Motorsports, Acceleration Kart Racing, the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, and Cooper Tires. From the trusted name in truck tires comes the Cooper Discoverer AT3 family of tires. The Discoverer AT3 was developed with adaptive traction technology for better handling on any surface with maximum grip in all seasons. The Discoverer AT3 was built with durable tread technology for all-season traction and extreme durability when hauling. And the Discoverer AT3 was made for confidence when hauling extreme loads and is available in larger sizes. These tires are designed with the reliability and durability you need to find adventure beyond the pavement and are backed by a Cooper mileage warranty of up to 65,000 miles. Learn more about the Discoverer AT3 family of tires at coopertire.com. Go with the Coopers. Motor mounts are critical to producing 100% of the power your engine has to get you on the podium each and every time. Odenthal Racing Products provide the best motor mounts in the karting market today. Odenthal Racing Products is a family-owned and operated business with decades of karting experience, providing products with unmatched quality and value for the karting market. Our newest product is the Pro Series mount for 2-cycle engines, available in 0, 5, and 8 degree angles, providing a rigid structure to help keep vibration to a medium with fins underneath to help dissipate heat off the engine. Our 4-cycle EZ set is one of the most popular mounts for the Briggs & Stratton 206 power plant. Multiple mounting holes provide the most adjustability depending on your chassis and seat placement. To ensure a tight fit to your chassis, ORP wedge clamps get the job done, featuring a number of updates to its design for a lower profile and lighter weight. The clamps are available from 28mm to 32mm in both standard and Euro sizes. Head to OdenthalRacing.com and find a dealer near you. Odenthal Racing Products, made in the USA. Acceleration Kart Racing is your first and only stop on the internet for karts, parts, and safety gear to get you on the track. Shop eKRA.com offers a great selection of karting equipment on a user-friendly website. Acceleration Kart Racing has aligned itself with many of the top manufacturers and distributors in the sport to ensure that all the latest equipment is available to you, the consumer. With customer support available 6 days a week, you can be confident about getting the right parts at the right price. Be sure to visit shopakr.com today or stop by their headquarters in Las Vegas. Also, follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest specials, clearance items, and new products. Live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center in Homestead, Florida, this is the 2021 Superkarts USA Winter Series on the EKN Radio Network. So 2 more races to go here as we get back to live coverage here from the Superkarts USA Winter Series, second round. Getting set to go with X30 Master, brought to you by Orsolon Racing. Renato Jader-David looking to score what would be his 9th straight win here in the Winter Series. He'll start alongside William Isaias on row 1, Luis Cordero and Glauber Granero on row 2, Diego Rodriguez and Michael Oriema on row 3, and Dan Breitenstein and Wilmer Valentin Jr. on row 4. 8 drivers set to go. Green, green, green. Make that 7. Looks like Wilmer Valentin did not show. And we got to move for the lead early. Isaias goes to the inside to take the lead away from Renato. He'll go right back to the inside at turn number 4 to get it done. So Isaias took the lead in turn number 2. That actually might have, it was Isaias. And then boom. They're battling already behind, and the gap is done. Already probably about a 3 or 4/10 of a second lead for Renato as he's been able to pull away, got through turn 8 cleanly. A little further back, Glauber Granero made a move to the inside of Luis Cordero, which balked them both up coming out of turn number 8. So indeed, it's a half a second lead for Renato Jader-David out of the gate, but let's see what Isaias is able to do. Turning things back up again. He showed some good pace, as I said yesterday. He and Cordero put a lot of pressure on. In fact, it was actually Luis Cordero who put all the pressure on Renato in the main event yesterday, within about a half a second the entire race long. And indeed, they're going to try to give chase once again. Granero, I believe, into the 4th spot. Rodriguez 5th. Oriema in 6th. And Breitenstein 7th. And again, Wilmer Valentin Jr. he ran the part of the pre-final, but not showing for the main event. Top 3 drivers pretty close together here, similar to what we saw yesterday. Again, Renato Jader-David, defending champion of the Superkarts USA Winter Series here in X30 Masters, won all 4 races last year. Also won the last 3 of the 4 races in 2019, and then the first race here this year. So that's 8 straight wins here in the X30 Masters class. This would be 9 in a row if he's able to get the win here today. Top 3 drivers pulling away a bit. Half a second in the lead right now for Jader-David. Goes purple with a 49.108. Getting chased pretty aggressively again by William Isaias and Luis Cordero. Glauber Granero into that 4th spot once again. Good battle here for 5th, though. Oh, trouble for the driver. I think that was Oriema. Hand in the air coming out of turn number 6. Like there was an issue, and that allowed both Rodriguez and Breitenstein to get through. So I'm not sure what happened there to Michael Oriema, whether or not he'll be coming into pit lane. Now he continues on the racetrack, but the car like it bogged or something coming out of 6. Oriema dropping back to 7th. once again, we're not seeing the domination from Renato Jader David that we saw in the pre-final as he was able to stretch away. Isaiah is right with him, as is Cordero. This time, Isaiah has turned up the wick even more. Cordero was the driver who really put the pressure on Renato Jader David yesterday. This time, Isaiah's running P2, and Cordero right there with him, although Cordero with the fast lap of the race, a lap ago on lap 5, 48.884, over a tenth quicker than the fast lap for David. But Renato, again, with his best lap of 48.970, 0.3 of a second. They're on top of him now, though. Top three drivers separated by just a half a second. Not even that now as they come across the line. Are coming to turn 4 and 5 through 6. David not running that tighter line in turn 7 and 8 to try to block that move into the hairpin. Nobody's tried to make a move there as of yet, although Isaiah's just not quite close enough. He's back enough coming out of 6 that he really can't get that dive move. In fact, looks like the gap stretching a little bit more. We're going to keep watching on the fast laps because both David and Isaiah turned their fastest lap this last time by a 48.9 for both. 49.1, 49.2, 49.1. So not able to get back down to the 48s. One more race to cap off this first trip to Florida, the 2021 season for the SCUSA Winter Series. We'll be back again in February, running it in the reverse direction. X30 Senior on the grid and getting ready to go as we are about 14 laps away. Not the battle we expected we were going to see up front here based on the pace that Renato showed in the qualifying and the pre-final. Let's see if we got a move here from Cordero pretty soon. I think he's starting to get a little anxious. Yeah, Cordero's going to look to the inside. And, in fact, Isaiah is the leader. Renato Jader David back to P3. William Isaiah goes to P1. David back to 3rd with 12 to go. Is the streak going to get broken? 8 straight wins for Renato Jader David. He's now P3. Man, he's been dominant. I'm so surprised that there's any kind of an issue here right now, to be honest with you. 5-second lead in a win in the pre-final. His fast lap was over a tenth quicker than Cordero and 0.3 faster than Isaiah, but man, they've turned up the wick. Cordero's fast lap on lap 5 of 48.884. Over 0.2 slower than what he did in the pre-final. Isaiah at 48.921. Yeah, that's 0.3 slower. Interesting. Let's see what Renato Jader David has for these drivers in front of him that are now challenging him. We got ourselves a race on our hands for sure. William Isaiah. Said they turned it up in the main event yesterday, trying to do it again here today. And top 3 drivers all separated by about a half a second. Great battle. Cordero now looking for a way by Isaiah. Jadr David kind of sitting back here and watching it all happen. Laps winding down into the second half. 10 laps remaining. Final race on the grid. X30 Senior to cap it off. Orsalon Racing, the sponsor of our X30 Masters class. Isaiah and Cordero 1-2. Gaining a little bit of a ground. They got about 0.3 of a second now on Renato. One driver almost looping it around here in turn number 1. That's the 523 of Michael Oriema rather. It's like he may be working his way back to the paddock. He's coming around here. He's not going to finish the lap, and I would expect he's just going to head back to the paddock now. Indeed. Eight laps remaining. David goes back to P1. Now he's in the middle of a dogfight. Back to third. Cordero now, I believe, the leader. These guys are going back and forth here. Yeah, we got ourselves a good dogfight here right now as David now making a move to the inside. Renato Jadr David to the inside now of Cordero. Isaiah still out front. Jadr David back to P2. Maybe he's done with this dogfight and wants to go back to the front. Onto the front straightaway again. Here they come. Isaiah with the lead with 5 to go. Now we're starting to get to crunch time. Big move to the inside of turn number 8. Book it. David goes back through to take the lead once again. Renato Jadr David back to P1. And there goes Cordero to the inside of Isaiah. And Renato's going to try to pull away now. Back to the lead. Indeed. Renato Jadr David back to P1 by 0.4 of a second. Do we see a purple lap here pretty soon? Has he been holding something back? Battling it out with the drivers there, running second and third. Do we see him drop the hammer here? As I said, he won by 4 seconds in the pre-final. It's now Cordero up into second. Same lineup as we had in yesterday's podium. David, Cordero, and Isaias. Should be 2 to go next time by, I believe. 3 down here, 2 to go. Jodder now 0.3 of a second out. It's only about 3 kart lengths as they work to the inner loop once again as Cordero continues to match. 49.153. Cordero back down to a 48.977. He's turned some really strong lap times just like he did yesterday in this main event. I would not be surprised to see Renato drop down to 48.7 though. But able to work his way back at where he needs to be here. .49 flat again. Just about over 0.3 of a second. Hasn't dropped down the big lap yet. They have dropped Isaias, the driver who led for a time here in the second half of the race. William Isaias has fallen back into the third spot, not able to match that pace. Running 49.1s, but 0.1 of a second he's losing a lap. Isaias, though, in third. It's Cordero who continues to put the pressure on like he did yesterday. So similar to what we saw. Cordero trying to step up, looking to see if he can't steal this win away. Or will it be the 9th straight SCUSA Winter Series victory for Renato Jodder David? The Orsalon Racing driver on the Tony through 10, 11, and 12. White flag to fly this time by. 1 to go. 1 lap remaining. Cordero, as he throw it in, he goes purple. Cordero just went purple with a 48.812. He has turned up the wick following Renato. This is it. Final circuit. We either get a new winner in Luis Cordero or we get a 9 straight victor in Renato Jodder David. Coming in here to turn 6 and 7. No move in 7 or 8. Renato with a good jump and good run out of 8. That's a big run out of turn number 8 to 9. I don't think Cordero's got anything for him. I'm not giving you 9 back-to-backs because it's 9 straight wins as he comes out of the corner to the checkered flag. Dominance over the last 3 years. Back-to-back jacks here in 2021. 2 wins for Renato Jodder David, challenged aggressively by Luis Cordero and William Isaias. But that's 9 straight Winter Series victories. He won the last 3 races in 2019. He swept all 4 wins in 2020 and now goes back-to-back to start the 2021 season. Jodder David, impressive with another victory there. So it'll be Renato Jodder David, Luis Cordero, and William Isaias on the podium. Glauber Granero ends up in 4th. Diego Rodriguez in 5th. Dan Breitenstein rounds out the 6 drivers, finishing up as Michael Oriema, as we said, an issue on lap number 14. 1 more race to go. Folks, don't go anywhere. We'll wrap things up here on the EKN Radio Network. You're listening to turn-by-turn coverage of the Superkarts USA Winter Series live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at AMR Motorplex, presented by MG Tires in Homestead, Florida. This weekend's broadcast is brought to you by Leading Edge Motorsports, Acceleration Kart Racing, the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, and Cooper Tires. Leading Edge Motorsports is the industry answer to winning in karting. At the helm is industry veteran Greg Bell, who has orchestrated the success of many drivers dating back to the mid-1990s. Most recently, Leading Edge Motorsports and Greg Bell helped guide Danny Formel to victory at both the Rock the Rio and the Superkarts USA Super Nationals 23. Based in Lodi, California, Leading Edge Motorsports is the Western importer for IP karting, which includes the Praga and Formula K chassis brands. Leading Edge Motorsports is already looking forward to the 2021 season, which begins with the Challenge of the Americas, the premier winter series on the West Coast under the Rock Cup USA banner. Leading Edge Motorsports is also eyeing the Florida Winter Tour and several other programs. Arrive and drive services to kart preparation and driver coaching are all available under the LEM tent throughout 2021. Greg Bell has been building racing engines for over 20 years, and he's excited with the continuing growth of his new Mega Power race motor building program. It doesn't matter what color your chassis is, choose Mega Power to get to the front. For more information, click over to leadingedgemotorsports.com and find them on Facebook. At Leading Edge Motorsports, winning never gets old. In karting, it's important to be supported by the right people. With over 40 years of experience in the sport, Trinity Karting Group has everything you need to make your program successful. We do it all, and we do it right. Trackside support and arrive and drive programs at many of karting's biggest East Coast events, full product sales and service, and professional coaching from our experienced staff. Trinity Karting Group is a full-service operation based at the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati, which gives us access to our custom-designed driver training facility. This allows us to offer private one-on-one coaching to take you to the next level. We're also your Midwest home for Tony Kart and IAME, and we're your source for MG and Evinco tires in the region. Tony Kart quality cannot be beat, so call us today to put you in a new chassis for your next event. In 2020, we'll be racing and providing arrive and drive programs for the full Superkarts USA Pro Tour and the Great Lakes Pro Kart Challenge, the WK's Kart Week in Daytona, and exciting events like the USAC Battle at the Brickyard and the Rock Island Grand Prix. From arrive and drive and coaching programs to the parts you need, let Trinity Karting Group provide you with customer service and a racing experience second to none. Trinity Karting Group has a long history in the sport, a winning pedigree, and we're dedicated to driver development. We take pride in our professional approach and our positive attitude. Let us build a custom race program for you. Give us a call at 513-421-4463 or check us out online at trinitykartinggroup.com. Now back to the Superkarts USA Winter Series, live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at AMR Motorplex, presented by MG Tires in Homestead, Florida, here on the EKN Radio Network. I think it's as good a time as any to cap things off for the day. Drivers in X30 Senior have rolled out onto the racetrack. Time to get things rolling for a 22-lap main event. This is going to be a good one. On the pole position, Sebastian Montoya alongside Max Opolsky. Row 2, four-time champion Ryan Norberg, your defending Winter Series title winner. Aaron Benoit, yesterday's winner on the outside of row 2. Mateus Ramirez and Santiago Tricini on row 3. Yellow flag. Yellow, yellow, yellow. No start. All right, then. Row number 3, we'll see Bryson Morris alongside Hayden Jones on row 4. We'll have Diego Conteca and Matias Ramirez. Row 5, copying your top 10, Max Opolsky and... Oh, wrong one. I got to find the right results. Hold on. My live timing got updated, so I can't give you the correct results. Give me a second, and we'll be good to go here. There it is right here. Again, Montoya and Opolsky on row 1. Norberg and Benoit on row 2. Ramirez and Tricini on row 3. Then it'll be Thomas Nepvu and Alex Stanfield on row 4. Brandon Tyner and Hannah Greenmeyer on row number 5. Row 6 will be Nate Cicero and Tyler McIntyre. Row 7, Arias Dukmedjian and Jonathan Ports. Row 8, Thomas Annunziata and Bryson Morris. Row 9, Lucas Stako and Nick Ramirez. On row 10, it'll be Matthew Cousineau alongside Aiden Fox. Row 11, Timothy Carroll and Michael Millardi. On row 12, Hayden Jones and Rodrigo Piquet. Row number 13, Kevin Ravantos and Julia Booz. Row 14, Oscar Penoza and Lucas Fakuri. On row number 15, Logan Vajda and Cole Schroeder. Row number 16, Diego Conteca and Santiago Fernandez. And row number 18, it will be, or 17, it'll be Christopher Barros and Haley Schroeder. Field now set. Now we're at it. Green, green, green. Montoya able to get a jump to the point where he was able to dive from right to left and actually grab the position. So Montoya goes to the lead. I got sheets everywhere in here trying to find that pre-final result sheet for you. Live timing, of course, it updated once they went across the line and went yellow, messed everything up on us, and then we're back at it. Clean driver driving through turn 8. Yeah, a couple guys stacking up. They got to take care of those bumpers. That's the key. And I know it's such a tipping point in terms of discussion about the pushbacks, but it really has cleaned up the opening laps of these races. You think back a couple of years ago, we were stacking carts up, flipping guys over. A lot cleaner racing than we've had in years past. Montoya will lead him across the line to complete lap number 1. 21 to go and a 5-driver breakaway. Montoya, Norberg, Ramirez, Opolsky, and Benoit. Little bit of a gap back to Thomas Nepvu. The Canadian on the PSL karting Burrell Art machine. Santiago Tristini behind him. Hannah Greenmeyer up 4 spots into 9th. Alex Stanfield into 10th. Lucas Stako, the big mover in the top 20, up 9 positions. He started 22nd into the 13th position for Stako. .40 drivers in the X30 Senior class. And Montoya continues to lead with Ryan Norberg right behind him. Matias Ramirez in there as well. Ramirez is actually going to force the issue, and I believe he gets by with Norberg. Norberg goes by Montoya, who goes back to probably P5. Want to say 5th for Montoya slotting back in. Norberg with the lead now. Ramirez runs in the 2nd spot. I think they brought Opolsky with them as well. So Norberg led the train by Montoya over in turn number 2. Remember that 5-driver breakaway I talked about? That's gone. Probably about 10 drivers in the lead group now. That'll happen in this particular track. Like I said, you stack up, you make a pass in certain corners, and it really stacks everybody back up because you lose that exit speed. Yeah, biggest gap probably when you get down, probably the top 12 between Nate Cicero and Brandon Tyner is about a second from 12th and 13th. Yeah, Cicero 2.4 seconds for the top 12. Tyner's trying to get up on the wheel. Behind him is Lucas Stako up 8 spots, as we said, 22nd to 14th. Stako back by 4/10 from Tyner. So that's really where the gap is there, 12th, 13th, and 14th. Norberg now the leader. Never a dull moment in X30 Senior, especially at a track like this. A lot of opportunities to overtake here at Homestead. Norberg pulling into 2nd as Ramirez has gone out front. Matias Ramirez, who we've seen over the last number of years running in the top-level shifter kart categories, and he was actually one of the top 5 runners of the KZ category of that Track Magic a couple of years ago at the Supernats. Running with Speed Concepts here, the Florida pilot. Nice little lead over Norberg by about 4 or 5 kart lengths now. Got to go deeper in the field to find the purple lap of 48.082 for Bryson Morris, your reigning Pro Tour champion. .48.082 for Bryson Morris. Started 20th, now 18th. See how far he can work his way up and whether or not the speed continues for the driver out of Tennessee. Stanfield now with the fast lap. Alex Stanfield, the rookie senior, 47.869. How about P5 for the Texan? 5th for Stanfield. Right out of junior and that championship right into senior. Stanfield was in the championship battle in the X30 Junior category all the way through that double weekend Summer Nationals. Ends up coming home in the 3rd position overall. Look at those drivers in X30 Junior last year. Carson Morgan, Brent Cruz, Alex Stanfield, Paul Bocuse, Jack Jeffers. Strong field. Stanfield coming home P3. Right now looking good. Running fourth. And got lots of room behind him as well. P4 for Stanfield. And there's been a bit of a shakeup here. The 303 now of Dukmejian in fifth. And it's a pretty significant gap from fourth back to fifth. It's got to be almost a second. They've been able to stretch away. Top four drivers looking good. It's Ramirez, Norberg, Benoit, yesterday's winner, and Stanfield. Benoit, of course, getting that victory yesterday with a couple of penalties that came down. Norberg actually had the spot, but eventually got a bumper, the full pushback bumper penalty. 10 seconds dropped him all the way back to, I think, fourth or fifth. There's my results. P4. Stanfield kind of watching it right now. The gap, as I said, yeah, it's even, I thought it was a second. It's 1.6 seconds. They've got a massive gap. Stanfield getting ready to go to work here now as Benoit's been able to work his way to P2. This is allowing Ramirez to stretch away a little bit as the leader. Behind that front running four, it's two drivers running together. That's Dukmejian and Opolsky. And then another gap of almost a second back to Tracidi and Montoya. And in fact, more than that, there's really about 5 drivers in that group. 6 drivers actually in that next group. There goes Ramirez, Benoit, Norberg, and Stanfield. Then Dukmejian, who goes purple alongside Opolsky. Then this big group coming through. Montoya, Tyner, Cicero, Nepvu, Tracini, Greenmeyer, Ports, Stako, McIntyre, Annunziata, Morris. They just keep coming. Yeah, outside the top 6, 7 on back. It's a dogfight. Man, driver's digging. Dukmejian, 47.828. That's 0.2 quicker than the leaders. He's 2.7 back with 13 to go. Not out of the question for both Dukmejian and Opolsky to potentially get back in here as Dukmejian again goes purple. Going to try to reel in the leaders here right now. 47.805 again. Over 0.2 quicker than Ramirez, 2.4 back. About a tenth faster than Stanfield. He's got 1.4 to that. So Stanfield's still in a pretty good spot. How about this? Stanfield has gotten by Ryan Norberg. Stanfield by the 4-time Superkarts USA Pro Tour champion. Norberg, 4th. Stanfield to P3. What a great run for the rookie here in the senior category. And he's pulling away a bit from Norberg, who may have some trouble from Dukmejian soon. This is a great run here right now for Alex Stanfield. Finished 10th yesterday. Able to get out in front of Norberg. We'll watch the lap times. Does he have anything to reel potentially in Ramirez? Mateus Ramirez is getting chased down a bit by Aaron Benoit. Can Benoit go back-to-back? That's not something I would have thrown out there. Of course, all that chaos that happened yesterday, Benoit got kind of pushed to the front with an issue with Dukmejian and DeTulio, and of course Norberg as well. A lot of action changing the results there yesterday. Benoit took the lead and took the win when everything shook out with the rulings, and he is ready to go out here and win one on the racetrack as well, putting a lot of pressure, trying to roll up on Ramirez. Yeah, quicker. Significantly quicker last time by the Ramirez, about 0.3 of a second. And Dukmejian purple again. Only 0.2 behind Norberg, who goes his fastest lap at a 47.898. Norberg back up to the rear bumper of Stanfield. Two drivers, front drivers trying to pull away Ramirez and Benoit. But Stanfield, Norberg, and Dukmejian. Dukmejian to the inside of Norberg and turn 8. Book it. Move Dukmejian to P3. Dukmejian, I believe a DQ yesterday, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have the results right in front of me here. I've only got the one sheet in front of me. I think he was involved in the contact, unsafe re-entry after the contact that he had with Norberg over in turn 10, came back onto the racetrack. That unsafe re-entry caused the contact with DeTulio, and then his retaliation on the front straightaway eliminated him from the entire weekend. Stanfield still third. Dukmedjian fourth. Norberg fifth. Sixth spot right now is Opalski. Got an update from Superkarts USA officials. The race will be a 20-lap race now, not a 22-lap race. Of course, the wave off at the start, so those 2 laps are getting pulled back. So I'm being told a 20-lap race. So I'll keep my eye on Aaron Likens and when he's throwing the 2-to-go sign. But I assume then past the halfway point. Could be just maybe 7 laps remaining. Benoit right on the rear bumper now of Martinez, and there's a pass there. Dukmedjian able to make the move by Stanfield. So Dukmedjian now into third. Stanfield fourth. Norberg still fifth. Opalski in the sixth spot. Then it's the big gap back of about 4.5 seconds to Montoya running in seventh. Brandon Tyner up 7 positions from 15th to 8th. Greenmeyer up 4 spots from 13th to 9th. And Santiago Trusini rounding out the current top 10. Nick Ramirez started 26th. He's worked his way up into 16th now, so a good run for Nick Ramirez as well, doing double duty in both KA100 and X30 Senior. New leader, Aaron Benoit. The U-Race driver, Benoit, has got by Ramirez. Oh, they're all closing. Norberg gets into the back of Stanfield. He goes up in the air a little bit. He'll lose a spot to Opalski. So Norberg trying to get to the outside in turn number 8, climbed up the back of Stanfield and went off track a little bit. I don't know if there's any damage whatsoever to Norberg. Definitely could be a pushback on that. He's got to get up in the throttle still because he's not going to want that penalty to drop him further down the order. But he did make contact with the back of Stanfield. That said, Dukmedjian, the driver, I think on the move right now. Benoit goes to the lead. Ramirez trying to push him, but they got to watch out for Dukmedjian. Arias Dukmedjian is rolling right now. Right there up on Ramirez. Dukmedjian already has the win under the belt here today in the KA100 Senior class. Can he do it here again and go back-to-back in X30 Senior? Laps winding down. Again, I think there's 5 to go. I think we're only doing the 20 laps. So if you're watching live timing, it says 6 to go. I think we're down to just the 4 to go now. 4 laps remaining because they need a 20-lapper. Here's a move to the inside. No. That was a good. Martinez was there. Ramirez was thinking about going to the inside, but he came across the bow. Good battling further back with Montoya as well. Montoya, Greenmeyer, Tyner, and Trusini. Leaders coming back around. Little bit of a gap here now for Aaron Benoit as he's been able to pull away. What a follow-up this will be for yesterday's run. Benoit the leader. Dukmedjian second. Ramirez third as Dukmedjian's been able to get by. Stanfield trying to get to the podium. Can he get by? Opalski fifth. Norberg sixth. Then the big gap back to the battle between now Montoya and Greenmeyer. There's the confidence of the win yesterday. Aaron Benoit on top of the box. Can he do it again here today, but actually on the racetrack? Yesterday he needed some penalties to advance him to P1. He's trying to do it on the racetrack right now. Aaron Benoit. We'll see the 2 to go sign. This time by driver to Jupiter, Florida. Hey, I know a couple other guys from Jupiter, Florida. One of them, Oliver Askew. Former IndyCar driver. We'll see him in the IMSA program this year. And Benoit leading. Dukmedjian trying to see what he's got left with 2 to go. Ramirez is going to have to hold off the young upstart, the rookie Stanfield, for the final position on the podium. Stanfield all over him. Alex Stanfield trying to go to P3. Getting by Ramirez. Big move to the inside there for Benoit. They'll come now through. White flag flying this time by. Duke Medjian goes to P1. Here comes Stanfield. Here comes as well Ramirez. Duke Medjian takes the lead. As I said before, 2 laps cut off for the waved off start. Duke Medjian the leader. Benoit trying to find a way by. Opolsky's coming back into P5. Stanfield trying to find a way by. He can't get Ramirez yet. It's Duke Medjian looking to win both senior classes here today. They'll work their way down to 9. Opolsky thinking about the inside of Stanfield. Can't quite get the job done. It's still Duke Medjian out front. He's not going to get challenged. Stanfield trying to find a way by. Coming out through turns 10, 11, and 12. Back-to-back jacks here on Sunday. Duke Medjian with the win. Benoit second. Ramirez third. Stanfield fourth. Opolsky fifth. Norberg in sixth. Montoya seventh. Trissini up to 8th, Tyner 9th, and Greenmeyer rounding out the top 10. A little confusion from some of the people here's pit side at the end, wondering why we were cutting the race short. It's a 20-lapper. They cut 2 laps off because of the waved-off start. Nonetheless, Arias Duke Medjian on the final circuit able to find a way by Aaron Benoit. What a battle there to cap things off. Duke Medjian, Benoit, Ramirez, your unofficial podium. Alex Stanfield, what a drive for the young Texan driver, rookie senior, going at it with the big dogs here, as was Max Opolsky. 8th to 4th for Stanfield. 11th to 10th for Arias Duke Medjian. What a tremendous drive, and he is the co-number 1 on the EKN radio network. On the EKN driver rankings for a reason. Duke Medjian with the win. Benoit, Ramirez, Stanfield, and Opolsky, your top 5. And again, I got a couple people coming to my booth yelling about laps. Laps got cut. Listen right now in the paddock, folks. We don't have to deal with this again. The laps got cut because we blew the start. When you blow a start, you're going to lose some laps. Happened here. Drivers weren't in position, so we lost those laps. We went 20 laps of the 22 that were scheduled. We lost the laps because of the blown start. We do that all the time. Again, so a good run there for Duke Medjian. What a win. Aaron Benoit coming home in second. What a weekend for Aaron Benoit. Got to give it up for him. Very, very impressive. Ramirez had a good run, led early. Stanfield showed well. Opolsky in 5th. Ryan Norberg falling back into the 6th spot. Montoya able to come out of that battle with Santiago Trissini for 7th. Brandon Tyner up 6 positions from 15th to 9th, and Hannah Greenmeyer rounding out the top 10. Nick Ramirez, I think the hard charger, if I scroll quickly through here, 14 spots up. No, 16 spots up actually for Riley Can. Started 35th. Riley able to get up to 19th. Coming off that great run in KA100 Senior. Riley Can for crosslink competition. Super impressive. Nick Ramirez finishing up 14 spots ahead in 12th, as I said. But, man, what a race up front. Arias Duke Medjian, very impressive to be able to get the job done there. He was able to get by Aaron Benoit, took the lead, and then did everything he needed to do on the final circuit to hold off Benoit, who was trying to get his second consecutive victory of the weekend. Again, Duke Medjian, Benoit, Ramirez on the podium. Unofficially, Stanfield 4th, Opolsky 5th. Those of you tuning in live here on the EKN Radio Networks, thank you so much for being part of today. What a great day it was. Beautiful weather. Still blue skies here in Homestead. If you don't like where you are, you don't like the weather where you are right now, I guarantee you it's going to be a lot better here in February for rounds 3 and 4 of the Winter Series. Come down and join us. If you're an Miami driver, we've got the categories for you. Micro, Mini, KA, X30, and Shifter. Come on down and have some fun with us in February. Otherwise, what a great way to start off the 2021 season. Some tremendous racing here at Homestead. We look forward to being back in February. Again, big thank you to our broadcast partners here this weekend, the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, Acceleration Kart Racing, and Leading Edge Motorsports. Last but not least, thank you to Cooper Tires for sponsoring our EKN Trackside Live Tour. And a big thank you to Tom Kutcher and the entire Kutcher family and the Superkarts USA family for once again allowing eKartingNews.com to be here trackside, both for the commentary and for our EKN Trackside Live coverage. That wraps things up, ladies and gentlemen, from Homestead and AMR Homestead-Miami Motorplex, presented by MG Tires. The first 2 rounds of the Superkarts USA Winter Series are in the books. Congratulations to all those who were able to get victories. What a great way to start the season. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. My name's Rob Howden. Bye for now. Thank you for joining us from the Superkarts USA Winter Series in Homestead, Florida. Our EKN Trackside Live coverage, audio production, and social media was managed by Rob Howden. Big thank you to our broadcast partners this weekend, the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, Acceleration Kart Racing, Leading Edge Motorsports, and Team Cooper Tire. This EKN Live broadcast is copyrighted by eKartingNews.com and the Howden Media Group. This is Rob Howden, and thank you for tuning in this weekend and throughout the entire 2021 season.